Greetings and welcome to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim, I use he, him pronouns, and this is our world building session, a part of the Session Zero process for our upcoming campaign of Alas for the Angry Void. This is going to be a game of Alas for the Awful Sea by Storybrewers Roleplaying, which I ran as its own mini-campaign here a few years back. But we'll be reskinning it to tell a gothic science fiction story set among the stars. This session is pre-recorded. I am speaking to you from the recent past. So we're not live right now, though if you're watching the first stream of this on Twitch, my future self might be there in the chat with you right now. Hello, future self. I can't hear him. I have no idea what he's saying because that has yet to come. But after this, our regular episodes will be streamed live. But let us go ahead and introduce our players. We're going to go around and feel free to just let us know who you are and who you're playing. And we're going to start with Hollow. Hello.
Hello, I'm Hollow. I use he, him pronouns. Am I saying who I'm playing today? Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Here? Yes, I'll be playing Jackson Mead, the merchant and confidant.
Excellent, excellent. And now we will head over to Cleric. Hello.
Hello, I am Cleric of Court, or Cleric. I am playing Vargas. He's the old sea dog and a creature.
Excellent, excellent. And we will now head over to Mem. Hello.
Oh, hi. I'm Mem. I will be playing Irina Maynard. We are the Scholar and the Believer.
Excellent, excellent. And now we will head over to Robin. Hello.
Hello, everyone. I'm Robin. I use any and all pronouns. Today I will be playing Rust Worsley, who uses he, him pronouns, and is the surgeon and the outcast.
Awesome, awesome. And finally over to Katy. Hello.
Hi, I'm Katy. I'm going to be playing Levitt Teague. We both use they, she pronouns, except Levitt identifies as a problem, and she is the assassin lover.
Perfect. Awesome. So you may see us use safety tools from time to time, now or when we eventually are in play. Like we do with the other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. So if we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or hold up a card, make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it. When we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that, again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain gothic themes, those of gloom, despair, intense emotions, macabre scenes, romance, and curses. Along with references to violence, alien creatures, colonialism, crime, death, exploitation, family issues, separation from family, homesickness, loneliness, starvation, sudden decompression, the vacuum of space, and vengeance. I've got a command set up that should be showing up in the chat regularly when you see this, when you're watching this on Twitch. That is exclamation point one, the exclamation point. No, that's not the one. I probably will just be typing it in as I say this in the future, and I will know what it is. It's probably something like Alas CW. I'm not sure though. I haven't set it up yet at this point, but my future self will have done it by this point. But it will have that content warning. It'll be a rolling thing going on. Also, please remember that we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It is just a game, and mental health is always more important. So, this is an interesting little experiment that I've wanted to try for some time. Taking Alas for the Awful Sea and putting it in space. It has been done before. There are folks who have done actual plays using that premise. I'm going for kind of more specifically a gothic angle, sort of gothic horror / gothic romance on this a little bit, but sci-fi gothic. It is a genre that exists but does not have a huge volume of content out for it. But basically part of the idea is that humanity has been in space for a very long time. Humanity has been in space for a very long time. They are largely on their own. They know of the existence of alien beings, and there would have been times at which there was maybe even trade, possibly, with aliens. But right now, at this point in history, there is not a lot of contact anymore with any aliens that there might have been contact with before. So it's like they're out there, but we haven't seen them for a very long time. And so a lot of things things regarding alien entities is very mysterious to us at this point too. We've generated folklore to a certain extent about it and about various parts of space. Let me go ahead and my notes say to go as I think back in horror to that moment when I was thinking, wait, what haven't I done yet? Let me go back and I can look at the yes, we have headings where I can describe things. I can describe some things that we can use as a baseline. We'll be discovering the actual details as we go, as we put this together. But as we're sort of going through here, and I talk about the setting, there's some tenets from setting tenets from Alas for the Awful Sea that we are carrying over here. One is the people here are poor. You're going to have space colonies that are often in poverty. They're farming on shrinking land as various companies are taking up space on them. There would have been a time when people have come and bought up planets, perhaps, or it could have been maybe it was companies, maybe it was something else, maybe it was could have been just one planet's military. It could have been any number of things that, it could have been a religious thing. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But that whatever they're doing, whatever resource they're getting, they don't have as much space as they used to do these things. And so a lot of the colonies that remain at this point, they've been around for a very long time, and they're fairly small at this point compared to what we would consider as what you'd think it would be given the current Earth population, right? Also, just as a minor note, I don't know if Earth is a thing or not. We'll decide that in a bit. But the people here are poor. Also, as we say, people here have no say. There is no say. Even you can almost just read directly from the original text for this. No say in who makes the laws and what they decide. No say in who takes their rent, how much they want, and when. No say in who runs the place and tells them how to live. Most people here don't much care. Life goes on much the same, no matter what those in power say. But a new desire is swelling, a craving to be heard, or if they can't be heard, to make themselves impossible to ignore. So that is one of the things that are brewing currently. Another tenet: times are changing for the worse, which is pretty much par for the course. People don't have much work. They used to be able to make your living more easily. People used to be able to make their livings more easily than they could. A lot of people who can't find work leave the space colonies for other bigger population centers if they can make the trip. Those who can mine typically mine. That is in the original game. In the original game, it was those who can fish. We're sort of swapping things to. I think probably the business of mining planets and asteroids, strip mining especially, has become the big business. Probably, that's at least what makes the most sense to me. And so that's just grabbing resources out of rocks, I think, is one of the most basic things you can try to do. And that is the thing that still probably is fairly decent business. And a lot of times those who can't do something like that will go outside the law. So you have lots of smuggling. Sometimes entire colonies or stations might be co-opted into it. Because, when you're very far out, when you're very far out away from everybody else, it's hard to police that. So that is that is the thing. That is the thing. Yes, alas, Tim Curry was not able to flee to his capitalist-free environment in the confines of space. It made it back out there as I've just been reminded. But the last big tenet I wanted to mention here is that people are set in their ways. There are traditions that have formed that people need to survive. Each planetary colony, each space station has a tendency to be insular, each developing its own culture. Often each one has a main staple that they survive on, something that they do. Religion might play a role. It could be a popular thing to turn to. That's a possibility. As whatever we decide that looks like. Or it could be something else. A lot of folklore has sprung up, either from the cultures who settled, or from contact with other species, or just from things that they saw locally, and maybe they just didn't have enough data to fully explain it. There wasn't enough of a budget to research that fully, so folklore has sprung up about the thing. So that is a thing that's come up. As I said before, aliens are out there, but there's not much contact with them these days. And the void of space. It's almost like a living thing in folks' imaginations. They swear by it. They swear against it. Everyone can interact with it on some level. The void of space is replacing the sea in this in the way we are reaching to things. So there's even that move that we have that basic move that sense what's beyond. That allows us to try to tap into the void and figure out things. However we decide to do that, that's however our own sense of things. This is not exactly Gothic sci-fi is not exactly hard science fiction per se. You can have things like psychic abilities, things like that. Or you can have technologies that have been developed that look like magic to an extent, where people have been able to do things. But a lot of it's very sort of personal, if that makes sense. But that is essentially what we are looking at this point. We're about to go over the characters and stuff on people's sheets, questions we want to answer, that kind of thing. Before I do that, did anyone have any overall questions about any of the stuff that I've been talking about thus far? For like the last year. Okay. So I'm gonna just go around same order. Let me go ahead and pull this up. We're going to be starting with the merchant. I'm going to be starting with Jackson. And again, we're working from the Alas character sheets, Alas for the Awful Sea. You cannot be sure if money makes the world go round, but it certainly makes you go round the world. And from the spice-drenched east to the fertile New World, and back to the gloomy shores of Scotland, you've traveled as far as the map is marked to do the deals that need to be done. In the process, you've overcome seasickness, become an expert on numerous commodities, and piled up a pleasant stash of gold, where you take special care to keep from the grasp of any errant sailors. And of course, this means you've been able to use your wealth to travel the galaxy, or whatever part of it that we say that we decide. So, tell us a little bit more about Jackson Mead. Any thoughts you want to give us on them?
Jackson Mead is a big dreamer. He wants to see the colonies connected. He's not exactly buying into this whole, we're separate entities and you have to go from place to place. He wants to see the galaxy connected via space bridges, via elevators, via whatever conveyance that need be possible. So commerce can once flow again. If there were aliens, if there is a god, they are dead or evil, and they all like to see us suffer. And we don't need them. Not at all. We need each other. And in that, we need to connect each other across this vast, awful galaxy.
Excellent. Let's see. I think we'll hold off on, unless it becomes did you want to describe what Jackson looks like?
Sure. I've used the appearance categories. So Jackson's gender is mask, with sweet eyes, a plump face, stocky body, and he tends to dress in sensible travel clothes, as best to ward away those errant rapscallions who would take away my hard-earned money, and also to better fit in with those who travel across the sea of stars.
Excellent. This is wonderful. I need to start taking a few more notes here, actually, as we talk. Wants to connect the colonies. That's important. What do you think? I'm going to go ahead and toss this question out now, and anybody can chime in. But I think it's very relevant right now. What kind of currency do you think we have in this setting right now?
Coins, all coins, heavy coins.
Yeah, I think it's really disparate. I think some colonies trade in credit chits, and some trade in stupid heavy coins, and some colonies trade in rebar because that's what's important over there.
We get one place, we're like, oh shit, we don't have the right thing here.
But everybody takes barter.
Right, but everyone takes barter. But everyone's got their own weird currency, colony by colony, which is why we must connect together so we can stop all this nonsense. Yeah, I think you're on mute.
Yeah, Russ, you did.
Yeah.
Said unify the currency system.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we need to unify the currency system. This is absurd.
Interesting. So I
Barter's
guess
unificated.
So,
I
so
mean,
I guess
yeah, but
go
it's
ahead.
clumsy.
Oh wow. So I guess when we eventually decide if there's any sort of government, we might decide if there's any sort of like credit that's involved anywhere. But it's yeah, I feel as though just from what we've described thus far, any credit is probably not that useful where we're going.
Yeah.
Right. It may be like a unified like credit system, but like the individual colonies are like, no, that's too much. And also get big government out of there.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
there are some libertarian colonies out there who are sovereign colonies who do not take the system credits.
But will they take my traveler's check?
Ugh, please.
Those are, we call those Paulian colonies.
I'm just remembering commercials from like the 1980s is really all that's happening in my head right now. But
But I'm thinking like the way something similar to the way that Firefly did it is an example where you have the core worlds or this one core area, or they think of themselves as the center of everything, and they call themselves the government. But once you get past outside of that, it's
yeah.
anarchy.
Yeah. There's yeah. I think there might be, and we'll get into this ultimately. There might be some sort of space nobility around somewhere at this point that's come around again. But we'll tackle that when we get to the actual settlements. But that's something that's also a strong theme in a lot of Gothic works, things like that. Is you'll have this sort of thing that's a weird sort of echo of nobility of some kind. And so I'm getting this feeling there might have been a time when there was some more common currency based on something. It could have been support from trade that no longer exists, or something happened, but it's like that money is no longer good anymore here is something that is an idea that strikes me as a possibility. I'm going to need to go in and research the sorts of things that we might use for this kind of thing. The thing that comes to mind is like dwarf star alloy or things of that nature, which is probably terribly heavy. But other things, rare things. We'll need to sort out rare things. But as we continue looking at this, let's see. So you've got, let's see here. So you have, let's see. We probably don't need to go over stats necessarily, unless we want to, as to where you put your various pluses and minuses. I see you have a special move, the perks of business, which will come in handy. Let's see how would we like to reskin your equipment? You have a sharpened letter opener, a box of goods, and a merchant's income. The merchant's income we can just pick. We're using the same income thing because it's vague, so that'll work for us. But what do you think?
I guess I'll go with average because I've been trying to invest in this, connected galaxy here. It's hasn't been working out too well, but it's coming. It's coming. Just
it will happen sooner or later.
Monorail.
Ah, yes, the interplanetary monorail. Oh no. It's fine. It's fine. There are space trains. I'm sure there could be space monorail.
Look, if I have to go find, the Galaxy 39 Express to get us across the galaxy, I will. Like,
you have a box of goods. What sort of goods are we thinking? There might be.
They are canned hams.
I mean, that is a thing you can. It's people need food.
Canned hams, delicious.
They need non-perishable food, so
Yeah. It makes sense.
The amount of ham in there is questionable, though. But
Canned ham is what it says on the box.
oh yeah.
That's all we know so far about this box. You have a sharpened letter opener, which is a 1-harm hand weapon. What kind do we want to? Is this like an actual metal letter opener, or is this more of a futuristic technology letter opener?
I think it's a metal letter opener. When I show off opening the ham, it's my latest endeavor. These hams. Got them off of got a good insider tip on the hams. They're clearly mostly ham.
Oh my god. So it's basically a thing it's an opener basically that you use to open tins of things.
Yeah, tins. It just happens to do 1 harm and open people. That's incidental.
No, that's just a side effect of the fact that it's sharp. It happens. Okay. We will go over the bonds separately. Was there anything else you want to let us know about Jackson before, just in general, before we move on?
Well, I think we have some questions at the bottom of our sheets, but I think we're going to get into those later.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, we're good.
Alrighty. So I'm going to move over to Cleric. Tell us more about Fergus.
Fergus is masculine in appearance. Eyes just kind of glitter. There's something secrets there. Face is weathered despite living on a ship for most of his life. He's got that kind of weathered look to him, probably because he's been confined to ship for most of his life. He's got a solid body. This is a guy who has built a body over the years of hard work. He appears to be somewhere around 50, could be 60, could be 45, who knows? He's just kind of got that look to him. Wears just an old kind of stained shirt and a cap. His shirt's not rags, but it's headed that direction. It's the last stop before it gets there. It has been clearly mended many times. He's often seen in the company of the ship's cat, which is just this one-eyed, scarred up, surprisingly not scrawny. So it appears to be surprisingly well-fed. What the cat eats, nobody's quite sure. Nobody really wants to ask. But the cat pretty much kind of follows him around, hangs out with him.
What color fur does the cat have?
Well,
or does it have fur?
Well, it has fur. It looks gray mottled, but I mean, there could have been orange in there at one point. There could have been a tan.
Yeah.
What if and you feel free to shut me down?
Okay.
What if it appears a different color to everyone on the ship?
I like that.
Someone's like, oh, it's an orange cat. Like, oh, it's a gray. And like they so maybe think there's like different cats on the ship, but it is all the same cat.
Yep. I like that. Yes, we'll go with that. 100%.
I love that.
Yes. And some see it as just a well-kept, beautiful cat, and some see this beat up, scrawny alley cat.
Just looks different for some reason to
Yeah.
different people. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It does the cat have a name?
The cat is Trinket, one of the
Trinket.
items. Yes, one of the equipment items that Fergus gets from his character sheet. The old sea dog is an old trinket, and that is the cat. Just like Fergus, nobody's quite sure how old the cat is. It just kind of appeared one day with Fergus and has been with him. Nobody can quite say how long.
What pronouns do we use when addressing the cat or when discussing the cat?
Cat. Well, Fergus calls it Trinket, but it's cat. Nobody
Right.
has, if anyone's gotten close enough to determine its gender, they either didn't survive or haven't said.
So in the meantime, I guess we're just sort of using it and they, that kind of thing.
Yeah, cat.
It, they, cat. Okay.
What
All
is
right.
it? Cat.
I love it. I love it. So, let's see. I'm gonna look at the old sea dog real quick. See where it says here, many a year ago, before you were a sailor. Actually, you're not really sure what you did before you left for the sea. You were barely past a child when you served aboard your first ship. Now, having seen hundreds of storms and survived only by the sea's good grace, you are a wealth of knowledge and superstition. What you've seen from the vessel's decks, many would not think real. You've stared at the sea for so long you can read its moods and emotions. You're fairly sure it is staring back, and that is the case basically with the void here, with the void of space.
Fergus knows the void is staring back at him.
Yeah. And you've already been describing appearance and such. Let's see, the equipment, the old trinket, yes, that is the cat. It says here you have a small hatchet, a sturdy cloth vest, and a sailor's wage. Are we going destitute or average?
Average. He's been
Okay.
around long enough that he's managed to sock a little bit away. He's the one that stands for drinks when they hit port for the younger sailors on board ship.
Awesome. Let's see. We have a small hatchet.
Yep.
Is it like a literal hatchet or is it something else?
Well, I reskinned it to it's kind of a multi-purpose tool that like the firefighters use. So it's got this. It looks like an old warhammer, but it's got an axe blade, a spike, and then it comes down and you've got like a crowbar almost at the end of it. So they, they're multi-purpose firefighting tools, and it kind of looks like that. It's not because I mean he's always wandering around banging on things when something breaks down. Fergus is the one that has to go fix it. So he's got this one tool hanging from his belt, and it's like nobody sees him with any other tools other than that. And somehow he manages to fix whatever's broken.
Nice. Cool. And the vest, it's a one armor vest. Is it anything special about it we need to know, or what it looks like?
It's been knitted. And again, original color is indeterminate. Just it's as ratty as the rest of his clothes. It's holding together. Nobody knows why, or so there are stories that it will stand up by itself in the corner. Nobody's quite sure when it was last watched.
Cool.
He looks like that guy that you cross the street for, but will also be your best friend and help you out if you're in trouble, just whether you're a friend or a stranger.
Yeah. Okay. Now, there is some stuff. I realized that we didn't talk anything about Jackson's descriptor, the confidant. A lot of the stuff that's on here looks like stuff that'll mostly just happens in play, to me. But was there before we get into Fergus's descriptor, I will just hop back to Hollow real quick. Was there anything else you wanted to let us know with respect to the confidant descriptor that and your character? People tell you their secrets.
Yes, people tell me their secrets because of the ham, clearly.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, we laugh, but or I laugh, but it's you give someone food, they will tell you things. So it makes
Jackson
sense.
just tries to keep an open ear because people tend to complain. Sometimes they complain to the air, and Jackson will say, "You're right. You're absolutely right," even if he doesn't agree.
Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah, this looks like the way this is set up. You can. There's a chance of accumulating large numbers of secrets, possibly. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. I will. So now back over to Cleric. We're going to talk about the creature descriptor here.
Mm-hmm.
Because in this case we are referring probably to alien beings. This is sort of a secret. I don't know. So, is it not all who call themselves human are so? Obviously, Fergus passes for human and has been doing so for a considerable amount of time. But there are questions on here that we can talk about a little bit. Obviously, we don't know. It's up to you to sort of decide how much you've told anybody, if anything.
No.
Yeah. So. And so, as far as the rest of the piece, and as far as the rest of the PCs are concerned, you're human. Is that correct, or are we
Yeah.
gonna? Okay.
Yeah. He just wanted just whether or not anybody notices or not is that when Fergus smiles, it's kind of it's closed mouth. There's never a full teeth open smile. And he has a thing for Jackson's ham.
Well, I mean, that's good.
It reminds him of one of his first meals.
I always said that Fergus was the most human among us.
Yeah. He's always there with a handout, with coin or with barter, whatever you need. He's there to help you out.
So, out of character, just so that we have it to kind of play with on kind of a meta level, and so I have it to play with kind of on a meta level. Do you want to tell us what kind of world you think Fergus came from?
Oh, Fergus came from a dying planet with a dying sun. What he remembers is cold and dark, and hunger was constant. It was only years later after he left that he realized that it was a dying planet with a dying sun. But he did remember the ship, though, that was full of food, that was soft and warm. And the ship didn't stay long and left minus several of the creatures it arrived with, plus one it hadn't had on board when it arrived.
Okay. Yeah, and this was a considerable amount of time ago.
Considerable amount of time ago, when Fergus kind of starts appearing as he knows people in all of the colonies he served. Nobody's quite sure, but he was named Fergus by the first ship that took him in as a cabin boy when they found him on the docks.
Yeah. Cool. Does Fergus know anything about his people?
To stay away. He's not wanted. He never wanted to go back. Again, dying planet, desperation.
Interesting.
He got off, and that's enough for him. As far as he's aware, he's not come across any of them, but that's he may have, but I would like to think that if he's come across somebody from his world, he would recognize them in whatever form they take. And he's probably aware if there are others that are masquerading from other places as well. It's kind of like that sixth sense of you recognize your own.
Yeah. Thus far he hasn't run into any, or has he?
I think he has, but that's knowledge that he just kind of he doesn't think about that.
I'm wondering if there's a specific reason for that, if there's an imperative that's been kind of, like, I almost want to say encoded into members of your species at this point.
I think probably among all aliens, being aware, whatever aliens there are kind of aware of that if you're gonna survive, you don't show yourselves.
Oh yeah.
So if you forget that they're, it's like,
it's more just of a personal psychological defense mechanism, really, more than anything else.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants to end up on the wrong end of a pitchfork.
Yeah. But you're saying you don't remember any, or do you remember any? Does Fergus remember any specifics of like what his people were like or anything like that, or is he just only remembers stay away?
Because he knows what his form is, what he looks like. So he remembers, just large eyes, large bulbous eyes, and sharp teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And again, there was always a fight for food. Hunger was a constant. So
that was just basically kind of so that was like probably like the only. Oh, and also he left very young, right? So
yeah. Well, for his people, he was a child by his 50. He was a child by their standards. He had been around for 50 years of his planet's time.
Yeah. Okay. And so it's just one of those things where, like, if there was I imagine that that society by that point living on that planet would have been very very
society is a loose term for what was going on there.
Yeah. Okay. There a lot of desperation happening. All right. Interesting. Okay. That does give me something to play. Has the species ever been identified with a name that people either know or don't know? That you're aware of?
I haven't come up with one.
Okay.
I haven't come up with one. I'm sure they have, because again, there was a ship that went, and then some of the crew made it back, so they would have been identified in a scientific or trade way.
There's a record somewhere, but
yes,
okay.
And the file's labeled mistake.
Awesome. Well, if at some point you come up with a name for the species, let me know.
Okay.
But yeah, we don't have to have it right now. But I was just curious. Cool.
All right.
Excellent. So, and again, like I said, we're going to be getting into the bonds a little bit later. But first, is there anything else you want us to know about Fergus right now before we move on?
Fergus is just he's always been there. He's part of the furniture.
Cool. All right. Excellent. I think we're going to... There are a number of questions that are on the creature sheet, but I think we're kind of answering them at this point, one way or the other. And we'll feel this out as it goes. We got a sense for how this works. And so I think we're gonna move on to Irina. So Mim, how are we? Yes, how are we saying your character's name again? I'm sorry.
Irina.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so tell us more about Irina.
All right. So Irina is female, uses she, her pronouns. She has appraising, soft eyes, an innocent, lively face, a pudgy little body. So basically, she came from a colony that hasn't been as impacted by some of the strife of the other colonies, and yet still had this core of religious zeal, right? We really believe in our religion, which there's some fine tuning that I need to do for that. But unlike a certain somebody, we really believe in the aliens, the gods. Are they one and the same? Who knows? Bah, to you too. But Irina,
I can't wait for the philosophical conversation, late night philosophical conversations between you two.
But Irina's because she grew up in this sort of like soft, more privileged aspect. She's a scholar, maybe a little naive, right? But also very intensely passionate about the things that she believes in, which is these alien/god things. And so her background, she's the scholar, so she's into the research and knowing more about the way that the aliens came in and impacted how the colonies developed, how it impacted our technology, and looking for those direct links to tie us to our celestial beings. And rather than just being connected by people, we need to connect back to those beings.
Yeah. Excellent. Interesting. For a few different reasons. So it's interesting to me for a couple of. So first of all, so this is, I presume we're going we're going polytheistic with this.
Yes.
Okay. And we're kind of, what I'm wondering is, with wherever your character is from, whatever human settlement your character is from, so I presume there was a time, it sounds to me from what, and you can tell me if I'm wrong here, it sounds like there was a time when there were with that place where aliens were helping support them in some way, or they were very helpful, I'm guessing.
That's the story.
To them, according to the lore, perhaps.
Yes. Yes. According to the documentation of our church, that is what happened.
Okay. So this is so long ago that we may not even be sure exactly what kinds of aliens they were, I'm guessing.
Yes. Celestial ones.
So, and so the question I kind of have is, is the thought, and there are two different approaches at war in my head right now, I just want to ask you about and see if either of them are closer to what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. One thought that strikes me is that there's a possibility these were beings that were worshipped at the time as deities. The other possibility is that you had deities or deific ideas that you're sort of trying to recognize the divine in these beings as more of that. Do you see? So is it close to one of those two things?
I think it's really that, like, there were aliens. The aliens provided some assistance in some way, and because the people just like couldn't understand that these were other beings that just came from a different planet or a different world, so to speak, that they just made them into gods, basically, to sort of explain how they were able to come and help.
Okay, so according to the texts, these were deities that came and visited.
Yes.
But it is understood that they came from another world.
No. I think like the religious aspect, they don't see them as like necessarily as aliens, but like Irina is recognizing that they are in fact aliens.
Okay, got it. So what is the state of things with respect to is Irina's position common for her people, or is Irina more of an outsider?
Irina's more of an outsider because she's just like, look, these gods, these were just like beings like you and I, just from somewhere else with better technology, basically. But she's like more quiet about that kind of aspect of it. Definitely believes in like, these people were helpful, they were wonderful, they came and they helped and they saved us, and how amazing they were, and how we need to integrate that back into everyday life. But less from a sort of a these are gods perspective, and more of a this just makes sense, we need their help, we're not doing so great on our own, please help us.
Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, so yeah, the official position. So is there? Let me ask. So is there a sect dedicated to what you are doing, or are you more of a Martin Luther type? I shouldn't even use that. But are you like breaking off here? You specifically.
I think she's sort of breaking off because she's got that like scholarly scientific aspect where she's like, look, I just want to like have this data, this proof, and I want to actually like use this to make things better, and not just sort of have a belief in this sort of story that we've created, but like actually be like, look, this is how this has actually come about. This is how it's impacted us, and this is how we can kind of reach back out and get this same resource to help save our struggling human race.
Okay. And so are you like, is that why you're traveling? Are you trying to find these beings or evidence of them?
Yes. So she's like doing the research to like continue to sort of prove that point, but in a very gentle way, right? So she's still, because she grew up in that whatever religious sect, she's like aware that like just coming in and being like, y'all are wrong isn't quite the way to do it. And that they're not necessarily wrong, they're just sort of misguided.
Excellent. Great.
They're saying the same thing with two different dialects, basically.
Oh, nice. How widespread is your church? Is it just limited to where you're from, or is it across multiple space colonies, or what are we saying here?
I think it may be still a smaller religion, but not uncommon.
Interesting. Okay. Good. Excellent. We can decide if we need it, whether there's another religion they're competing with or not, but it's sort of depends. I kind of want to save that for when we talk about the actual settlements. Interesting. Okay, cool. Do you have any, and I know you say it's still forming. Is there anything that you've named so far, or are we still hunting? Okay, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, we can come up with names.
It might be a good idea to come up with the name of the church. And so that'll be helpful. And if you like, you can come up, you can also come up with the name of whatever place you're from. which is might be of help as well. Actually, anyone here can come up with names of places they're from, but it's very cool. I like that. Let me see. Your character uses. Let me see here. Outsmart. You have under equipment. You have a research book on a subject of your choice. You have a small serrated knife. You have fine traveling clothes and a scholar's living. What are you setting your living at?
I was going to do average, but then I realized average is poor. So we're doing well off.
Alrighty. So far, you are the richest crew member. Although we have 2 more to get through, though. We're not sure yet, but excellent. Fine traveling clothes will probably be fairly self-explanatory.
Yes.
Small serrated knife. Is it like a regular metal knife, or is it something else?
I want it to be more in line with our alien space technology, right? So maybe like a little, I don't know enough about space and alien technology, like a little gamma knife or some kind of laser knife thing.
Laser knife. Cool. That works. We can do that. That's no problem. Little thing that has just what's the thing? A bit of plasma comes out in the form of a blade.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Or it could even be more specifically, if it's a laser cutter, it could be that. I don't know. Depends on what we want to what you want it to look like. Let's see. And you have a research book on a subject of your choice. What is the subject of your choice?
Alien technology.
Exotech. Excellent. Okay. Cool. Very good. And that's the cool thing about that is it's probably an old book.
And she's been adding to it.
Yeah.
At this point, it's more of like a binder with some new stuff in the back as she's doing her research.
So it's interesting because and actually the funny thing is I have another question. Is there a decent story? Now, while we don't have a lot of contact with with alien life forms at this point, have they left a bunch of stuff behind?
Yes. They've left things in the form of like old stories and various colonies and different other religious sects, because they also met these aliens and kind of perceived them in a different way. And so other ceremonies and things, but also in technology, in some of the ways that people have their existence on other colonies and planets and such. So she's just kind of going through and just sort of looking at all of that everywhere she can get to kind of gather up these clues, because the aliens were just like, oh, you guys, look at you trying real hard. Here you go. Here's some stuff. And but we got to get out of here because it's kind of ghetto. And all the humans were just like, thanks. And then they just kind of incorporated whatever gifts they were given in various forms. And so she's just kind of collecting those stories and those gifts, so to speak. So like the aliens didn't specifically leave stuff like necessarily for us on purpose, but like she's just kind of going through and seeing in what ways they impacted humanity. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, I love the idea that there are a lot of these, that there are places you can get to where there are buildings or old things that clearly were not built by humans. Mm-hmm. It's just a question of like, are they, which species might have built them?
Yeah, it's like the pyramids.
Yeah,
we didn't make those.
But who did?
Aliens.
Man, I'm about to get ancient alien that. Oh, man.
Excellent.
Let me go get some tin foil. I'll be right back.
It's important. Gotta have the tinfoil.
I need a new
Actually,
hat.
that's what is in Jackson's supply crate is tinfoil. Say bye to the ham.
The
It's
canned
tinfoil.
hands and the canned hands can be turned into little hats.
Yup, that's what it is.
There's a
Everyone
reason.
pulls out their hat whenever Arena comes by. They're just like, no, Arena.
That's what's lining the box.
So you can buy all the ham you want. Just
So, something you're going to want to keep an eye out for in your believer descriptor. When you have faith, you need for little else. There's the special bond move here. It says after the first time you fail one of your moves, find a quiet moment to explain your failure and share your true feelings with another. Then fill out this bond with the name of that person. Blank is the only one I can tell about my doubts. So when that happens,
Can't be Jackson. Lord. Can't be Jackson.
we'll have to see who it is. Yeah, we'll have to see who it is, but that's a thing to keep an eye out for. But to remember as we go. Before we move on, is there anything else you would like us to know right now about Irina?
Nah.
Okie doke. We are going to move over to Robin, and we're going to talk about Rust. Tell us
Hello.
about Rust.
So Rust is like an angel fallen from grace. Where he was once this beautiful, beloved son, this respected doctor, a genius, a brilliant surgeon, and now he works on a dirty ship with a cat that looks different to everybody who sees it, and he can't even get near it to see like what kind of cat it is.
Is his best friend a tailor?
No. He doesn't have friends anymore. He lost all his friends.
Just so you know.
Fergus will be his friend.
Just so you'll know, this it looks like you're not coming through on the captions, so there's a possibility right this second. So it might be the yeah. So it might be having trouble sensing your mic, that kind of thing. But let me see here. We are.
I got found. Great. Love this.
I mean, it's fine. It'll be but if you want to let you know, let me go ahead and look at okay.
I think we're good now.
See. Okay.
Let me back in.
Yes, I shall.
Okay. Am I good now? Oh, let me unmute. Yeah. Am I good now?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Yay. Awesome. Let's see. This is what is it? Remind me the playbook.
I am the surgeon and the outcast.
Excellent. So, do you have sort of a description of what Rust looks like, roughly?
Yes. So I chose from the playbook. Let me just pull that up quickly because I've got several tabs open. So gender is masculine. Eyes are restless. Face is defined. Body is wiry. Dressed in a fitted surgeon coat with an average income.
Okie doke. All right. Yes, you went to average income. Cool. You have surgeon's tools. We can kind of, I think, define on the fly sort of what a lot of those are. But I assume, are we? Is there some degree of tech involved here with the surgeon's tools?
Yes. I think his surgeon's tools would possibly resemble our surgeon's tools, where you'd be like, that is supposed to be like a scalpel. Like, that's supposed to be a scalpel, but you're like, but that isn't a scalpel. Looking at it.
Yeah. Those things where it's like, it's this strange box, but then you press a button on it and it does the thing. That kind of thing?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Let's see.
Rib spreaders. You would be surprised what the rib spreaders look like.
Oh my God. I'm just imagining. Oh, gee. We see you say that now, and now I'm starting to realize. Wait a minute. It's like, do we use?
I'm picturing, if
Go
you've
ahead.
ever seen a Civil War doctor's toolkit, this is what I'm starting to picture. It's like horror.
Yes, but
It's like-
if you like push it
Yeah.
in like to make it like science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, imagine a Civil War doctor's toolkit, but Star Trek.
Yeah.
I just love the idea that it's just like there's this perfectly innocuous looking thing, and then you activate it, and these
It
things
becomes
come up out of it,
horrifying.
and
Yeah.
and it's like I'm almost kind of thinking, is it like the oh god, the segmented metal thing that happens that was the trend in sci-fi effects about 15 years ago,
where it's
things will come up.
compact and then it just kind of
Yeah.
extends itself.
Yeah, is it like that, or is it more mobile, or is it like your nanites or something, or what do we think?
It's not that fancy.
Okay.
He lives on a ship. Let's be
That's fair.
realistic.
It's
This
true.
isn't
that fancy.
It is bottom of the line surgical supplies.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah.
So compared to, I suppose, compared to what you would see in an operating theater, his tools would be medieval.
How well
Okay.
kept are they? How well kept? How
They're well
careful are they?
kept.
So they may be the lowest, but he takes pride in his tools.
Oh, he doesn't take pride in them, but he takes care of them.
Oh, okay. I like that. I like that distinction. Very nice.
There's
Is it-
no pride here. This is not a place of honor.
This is a
Yes,
surgeon to
that is
steer clear of.
exactly it. He has no pride left.
This is not a place of honor. No great deeds were done here.
Yes.
So function. That's it. They're functional.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
that's okay. I like that.
This is wonderful. You have a knife. Also, it's
Yes.
a one-arm hand weapon. Is this tied to the surgical equipment, or is this something else?
Yes, I was actually thinking it was some sort of scalpel that is even older in like technology wise from his surgical tools. So it's really not functional in a surgical aspect anymore. So it would be considered like too damaging to use in surgery, but it's like an antique almost that he received as like a graduating gift from his mentor.
Cool. So is it like an actual physical just metal knife, or is it
Yes,
more
I
than
think it would be like a laser scalpel.
perfect? Awesome. Excellent. And it says you have a surgeon smock, which gives you 1 armor. I can pretty much look however you want it to at that point.
Yeah, it looks like what you would expect it to be.
Yeah.
It's been washed many times, but the stains don't really come out. So
Ah, excellent. Good. Good. Ah, yes.
Just like Rust's soul.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Mhm.
I wonder if Russ is even his real name or just a name he's taken because
Oh.
he feels dirty.
He does feel dirty. It's like nominative determinism, where it's like, oh, well,
Hmm.
Is it a play on his actual name though?
Rust? No, that is
Yeah.
his actual name.
It is
Yeah,
okay.
it just happened to happen.
He
Like
just
that.
happened to
Yes.
live down to it.
Yes,
Live down.
exactly.
I have never heard someone say "live down to," and I am hurting.
I haven't heard that in a while. It's a very southern thing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's fitting that we're talking about this because the descriptor is the outcast. Once sinned, always a sinner. So you as part of this, you have to choose the sin that defines you. And it gives a list of possibilities, and it also has you choose evidence of your sin that all can see. So, would you like to tell us about your sin?
Yes, I will tell you about my sin. So my sin is tied to Katy's character, which will be explained more later. But basically, I was doing a very routine operation on the head of a powerful noble family, and what should have been a run-of-the-mill regular operation went wrong in the middle, and the patient did not survive the operation. So the responsibility as to whether it was Rust's fault is questionable, as to whether he actually made a mistake or if it was circumstances outside of his control, that like unknown factors that led to complications. But in the end, the result was the same. He lost his status as a doctor, and he was barred from all conventional medicine, which is why he's working on a dingy ship.
Hey, Farkas takes exception to the name Dingy.
Well, maybe he doesn't say dingy in front of Fergus, but that's what he's thinking.
Yes. Good. So let me ask about this, because the nature of sin is such, it's is that it could just be you are outcast for this in some fashion or another. So
Yes.
Was it just a reputation thing, or is this like a murder charge?
Yes, no, like definitely like a manslaughter thing.
Oh wow.
Yes. And in fact, I think it would be cool if he had like not necessarily served a very long time. I don't even know if he was imprisoned or was fined or anything, but as a result of his everyone is roasting Rust in the chat.
No, I will not roast Rust. You have a human spirit and a human heart. As long as you don't go around believing in aliens like some people.
Parker prefers
Rust doesn't believe in anything anymore.
Fantastic. See,
He's lost all
Not
faith.
even himself. Just nothing.
well,
Just
I mean,
nothing.
gotta work on that. Gotta work on that.
So were you go ahead.
No, you proceed.
I was going to ask, were you like acquitted for manslaughter, or was it something where it was like
I was not
you-
acquitted.
okay, but you served
I
some?
was some
Was
sort
there a
of
fine
sentence,
or?
or some
Yeah.
sort of punishment? And as a part of that punishment, he has a neck tattoo.
Oh.
So he didn't have wealthy
Not
parents
you
that
out
could
here
swept it.
Jean Valjeaning this.
Oh, the thing is, we can do things with that because does the tattoo do anything?
Well, I think it's a strictly fun, like illustrative tattoo. Like it's just like a simple shape, which I will figure out, or like series of lines or dots, or an organization, a pattern.
Yeah.
Thumbs down.
easily readable by scanners that are brought up,
not
too.
even by scanners. It's just like in common parlance.
Oh,
like
yeah,
you
they
look
just
at
say
that
it's
A
like-
and you'd
hand
be
with a
like-
red slash through it.
or something where it's like I think it's more abstract than that. Where
Again,
it's
no
like
great deeds were done here.
no great deeds were done here. Where it basically it says like do not hire for medicine.
So does Russ try to cover this either with clothing or some type of like makeup or something like that?
No. He's
So
not he's-
your scarlet letter is sort of worn, not with pride, but
No.
you do take your punishment.
Yes, he regrets what happened, and he doesn't try to cover up his shame.
Is what it is.
It is.
Damn.
So
I have a question for us to think about. This actually opens up a little bit of larger world building. So, but like you can, if you wish, answer at least some of this, if you wish. Here, I'm wondering if the punishment that you received, this identifying brand, basically, tattoo, if it was, is this a thing where it was like? Because again, there are two possibilities in my head. Neither of them might be right, but I'm going to just sort of ask this. One possibility is that this is a situation where you were in this is a distant space colony of some kind, or an area of space, sectors of space where there's not necessarily, they don't have the wherewithal to issue harsher sentences, so they stick a tattoo on you and that's it. That's one option. Another option I'm thinking is you were in an area with more people in it, a more dense area, I'm trying not to use an area that perhaps the people who run that area would call that sector would call civilized, even though we know better. An area with more of a government to it. And you're no longer in that area. So that's the second option I'm thinking of. Do either of those? Yeah.
So I was thinking as part of Rust's backstory that he's the only son of like a new money family.
Ooh.
So his father is the kind of man who worked his whole life to make a better world for his children. And so the legacy that he wanted to pass on was for his son to become a successful doctor and to contribute positively to the world. And so investing all this time and money in education and developing him into this like intelligent, well carried man in a relatively prosperous and like I think that has like a very high noble factor, like a lot of nobility. So it's also kind of an element of getting like his father couldn't earn a place among the nobility with his money, but he can earn power through his son by having his son be a prominent, successful doctor. And So I think as a result of this being like and him being the son of someone very wealthy and powerful in that sense, he got let off with like a light slap on the wrist.
Mm.
Well, considering the circumstances of how he could have been punished. So, like comparatively, but for him, it ruined his whole life, right?
Yeah.
Because he can't operate in like a traditional medical sense or practice.
Yeah.
He can't. He doesn't attend medical conferences. He like the journals, like medical journals, they won't let him subscribe. Like he signs up. And they're like, we won't take your money. It's no good here. We hate you.
Barred from practice. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
Does he have previous journals that he may have written in that are kind of considered like, verboten, like just like don't read that drivel anymore?
Well, I think it's like it's such a shame is how people
don't read
think
that
of it,
dissertation.
Sorry. Or it's like, you read his dissertation and you're like, wow, this is a brilliant piece of work. It's such a shame that he turned out so poorly.
Oh.
Love it.
There's so much here.
So I think it would almost be like a collector's item.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I have. Did you hear
There was
that?
so much potential, and it just
of his dissertation.
I would like to have one.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have one for my character, just like brilliant man, brilliant.
Really, man. And then he comes out and he's like blood.
Walks
to his elbows.
and then walks away shaking his head. What a shame. And like, God damn it.
Bless his heart.
I have questions. I have more questions now. Because I can't stop myself. Was your so what kind of business was your father in?
I think it was something not like respectable in a sense. So like we're talking like this area of society is like very refined and like high tastes, high like very superior kind of stuff. And I think it was like he like traded fertilizer or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or like
so not disreputable, but something that something like above board, but it was still very mundane.
Very mundane. Yeah, mundane.
Ham
and maybe a little gross.
slaughterhouse.
Maybe he was it was meats.
Yeah.
Like he was like a butcher that created like a slaughterhouse business.
I can't believe that this is all coming back to ham. That's all of our questions.
It's ham.
Can I ask a question? Is Russ still in contact with his family?
Oh no, absolutely not. He was
disowned. He's been disowned? Okay.
Yep.
They're like, we did this for you. Don't come back.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I love this idea, of course, is because, as we all know, this means that Jackson may have intimate knowledge of, maybe not intimate knowledge, but would have some degree of knowledge about your family.
Oh, probably. Oh, not probably. Definitely. I think it was like a big scandal. It was a massive scandal.
Oh, God.
Especially among the grocery business.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
But what really is
Butcher mogul raised a butcher.
Oh. Yes.
Not just slaughtering the hams.
Oh, no.
Everyone knows the son of the butcher.
The headlines were brutal.
Cutting. They were very cutting.
Yeah. I like
Cary
that.
Grant. out.gif. Anyway. Yes, no, that's really good. That's really good. I just sort of seeing this is yeah. Oh God. So that means that yeah. So you were sent away, and you're probably, or your family has wants nothing to do. Is your father still alive? You think, or?
If he is, no one's told me if he's dead.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let me see. I wonder if I had any other questions. I think that's most of it. That I think is most of what I wanted to ask with respect to that. Is there anything else you'd like to let us know about Rust before we move on to Katy?
Just that he's just like, I think we've gotten the impression, but I just wanted to solidify that he's like a sopping wet, pathetic man. Just
He is wet trash on a hot Saturday.
Hot.
He is. Yes.
It's the sadness that makes him attractive, really.
Yes.
That's true.
He's a dumpster fire that's been put out and relit.
And then put out again.
Ah, excellent. Cool. I'm sorry, was there anything was there anything else, or is that
that's it?
That's everything? All right. Katy, talk to us about Levitt.
Sorry, I'm dying.
Oh, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I had a bad cough this weekend, so I'm recovering. I'm playing Levitt Teague. She is the mercenary and the lover. Levitt comes from one of those civilized planets, basically the type that is sort of has the facade of being very rich and beautiful, and has the upper class type of thing, but beneath the surface, the upper class is sort of holding down.
Katy, just so you know, your voice is coming and going. Your sound, the mic is coming and going.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. You know how my mic does a thing where it lowers itself even though I don't have adjust volume on? I don't know why.
Yeah.
Zoom hates me. Anyway, she comes from this place. It's like very much has this facade of like rich, well-off people. And it does. It has, a very much upper class nobility type of thing. But beneath the surface is the poors and the rich people keep them down. It has its own sort of like class system. And Levitt came from a noble old money type of family, the Teagues. She personally doesn't know how her family got the money. It goes back generations upon generations. Just knowing how that sort of wealth is accumulated, she figures that it wasn't all innocent. She's not naive. She was raised as sort of this noble debutante sort of young person, and one day her father had to have a very common appendectomy performed by a young man that was courting her, a very up and coming, promising surgeon. And under circumstances unknown to anyone, her father died in this very, normal, regular surgery. And her family fell apart, fell into destitution. While the surgeon was charged, her family was left with bad deals and debt, and eventually, because Levitt was so used to a certain lifestyle and didn't want to be the one to support as an elder sister, didn't want to be the one to support her mother who was falling apart at the seams, ran away, left her mother and her sister alone, and hasn't spoken to them for years, and became an assassin because she is trained in sort of speaking to and worming her way in with rich folks and getting them to trust her. And she is a well-paid and well sought after assassin who only takes jobs that, one, are interesting to her and don't bore her, and two, pay well.
So the killer's in love with the killer.
Yeah.
It's a killer relationship.
She wasn't originally a killer.
So the assassination part is something that obviously you picked up after leaving.
Yeah.
How long did that take, roughly, do you think?
I think when she was out on her own, she had an instance probably within like 6 months where she had to defend herself.
Mhm.
She was the type of debutante that had like the fencing lessons and the sort of self-defense lessons and stuff. And she used that to her favor. And within 6 months, she defended herself and ended up killing the person who attacked her on the street, and liked it more than she probably should have.
Okay. Oh, so I have some things I need to ask. Before we, there's more stuff. Well, we'll get into the other stuff on the sheet in a moment, but I questions popped into my head as as this was happening. So I need to get those out of the way before I forget them. I'm gonna work backwards. So Levitt is sought after as an assassin. Is Levitt Teague? Is Levitt still using their name
Within certain circles? Levitt, people know that they are Levitt Teague, that they can be found under that name. That is not an easy thing to do.
Okay. Only known to be an assassin within certain circles. Yes?
Like, people know as Levitt Teague. Levitt Teague is an assassin. Levitt Teague has become sort of the boogeyman type of thing.
Okay. But because that's kind of the question is, like, is it no matter where you go, are you known as an assassin, or is that more just a thing of like only certain people know that you're an assassin?
No, everyone knows that Levitt Teague is an assassin. That is
Okay.
that is what she became.
Okay.
Now, as I'm walking around out somewhere, they do not know that that person is Levitt Teague.
Yeah. So your face isn't necessarily known.
Yeah.
Are you wanted anywhere because of this?
Probably. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, that's also, we're not in the civilized space right now, so that makes sense.
Also, I think that Levitt, because of the jobs that they take, has that sort of mindset that if she ever gets taken down, she's not getting taken down alone. She keeps a very meticulous receipt book. And if she's going down, she better be going down into the ground.
Excellent.
Or she is taking the people, the also nobility and rich people who have hired her to kill other nobles so they can advance. They're going down with her unless you put her 6 feet under.
Yeah, a lot of people probably would go down if this happens. I think
she has a contingency plan that if she is killed, there's probably, which will come up in the bonds, there's someone she trusts to make sure
Yeah.
to get this out.
Is it mostly like other noble families that hire Levitt services, or are there other organizations we need to know about?
I think it's both, and that's something we can explore. But I think there are special like pro bono cases. She's always going to defend like a woman in trouble or something who might need a abusive husband or something taken care of, or a child or something. She's always going to do that. But for the most part, she's greedy.
Yeah.
And she's always going to be.
I'm almost wondering, is there like a special academy you go to become an assassin? Is it like that, or is there
The streets? She did.
It's just self-taught then. Just basically.
She's self-taught.
Okay. That's fine. Absolutely fine.
I'm killing Mem over here.
It's like, happens to be very good. It's like, kill
The
somebody. It's
street.
like, hey, I'm good at this. Do what you're good
on the
at.
streets one day and said, okay, well, I like this.
Oh, and look, a new application of skills that I already possess.
Yes. That's fine. I often wonder if it's like there is so I'm going to jump over to some things with the nobility here, actually. Do they use, is it literally like nobility? Do they use titles? Is it that kind of thing?
I think there is a mixture of that sort of old-fashioned nobility, but I don't think every family sticks to it. I don't think it's like a in sort of stone type of thing. I think their sort of nobility is purely based on how much money they have and if it's old or new money.
Yeah.
Like you can't particularly be born from a duke or something and stay that. It's only if you have the wealth.
Do the Teagues have I'm kind of wondering how much the Teagues have. Is it like do they have just like an estate, or is it like do they have a planet? Do they have multiple planets? How big are we talking here?
Oh, it was an ostentatious amount. It was like a gross amount. It was ridiculous. I don't think it was a planet's worth because they did go destitute so easily. But I think it was multiple estates, multiple places. And I think that unbeknownst to her, to people who her father owed money to, I think Levitt is still in ownership of one, but I think it's like very run down, like falling apart. Like it hasn't been cared for. It's one of like smaller estates on a random planet, that sort of thing. So
there's only one. There's one estate that the family still has access to, or that Levitt specifically has access to.
I think that it was the type of thing that before she ran, Levitt looked through everything, like every record, because she knew like her mother wouldn't be able to, and found this one place that hadn't been taken, and she took it.
Excellent. Okay. One distant estate. Go ahead.
Does Levitt still? I know Levitt's not in touch with their family, but does Levitt still keep track?
No. He does not care.
Okay.
She wants no part of that of her life with them.
Do they?
Because I think she has a feeling that if she sees her sister, that might open something inside of her again.
Yeah.
She might want to help her sister.
So she does. Levitt just ignores that they exist and has no desire to find out.
They could be dead for all she knows.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Just curious.
and so a lot of the assets got seized. It would seem when the father died. Are there do we have a line on who he owed? Was there a specific, like another family, or was it a lot of people? Or?
I think it was a lot of people. I think he had his hand in a lot of pots. a lot of it was probably the planet itself. They lived on a place called Epitome, the planet of Epitome, and I think that it was just a general. He had influence in a lot of places and sort of bought that influence, and used his money and name to get that influence. And when he died, they took it back.
Excellent. Okay. Let me just make a quick note. He's owed Epitome. I'm so many questions. But I'm gonna try to boil it down here. So first of all, do you happen to have a name for Levitt's father?
Oh yeah, I have names for all of them.
That's right, you do.
Her father's name is Baxter. Her mother's name is Ada. And her sister's name is Euphemia. I would pick the hardest name to pronounce, but she goes by Effie.
Excellent. Did Baxter have a title? Did he use a title?
He did not use a title,
Okay.
but he was very particular that everyone that he deemed beneath him, and even his wife and daughters, call him Sir. Especially Rust.
Of course. And this is, again, I'm asking for some details that maybe is new. Obviously, we are far away from Epitome, but was Epitome ruled by like a single individual, or was it more of a, or was it more of a
think
sort
there
of a
was
council?
I think they liked to proclaim to everyone else that they were democratic, that they had a very wonderful, voted for, people believed in leader in control, but there is behind the scenes sort of this rich ruling class sort of thing that makes all the decisions. Very similar to things we have today.
I mean,
yeah.
That was the thing. So probably some of the most prominent ones. Did the most prominent members of that rich ruling class
And
on the planet?
I think Baxter was in the behind the scenes sort of making decisions.
Would some of those people also? Would some of those who were like higher up than him? Would they have used titles, that kind of thing, do you think, or no?
I think it was a personal choice. I don't think there were any sort of set in stone type of titles. Some of them probably did just to, toot their own horn, like to feel special.
Yeah. And forgive me for if I seem to be harping on the titles thing. I just need to know because of I need to make sure that my brain doesn't go down the wrong canal when we do this, because I'm also trying to draw on Gothic stuff. So I'm like, wait, okay. So no worries. Okay, excellent. Good. And oh yeah. So was this was an appendectomy. And I kind of wonder.
Surgery. Routine.
Well, it makes one wonder, doesn't it? Because obviously, Rust was I've forgotten the word. There's a word I'm looking for. I think you know what I'm looking for. It's the thing where you can't be a doctor anymore. But
disbarred? Is it? No,
yeah, that's lawyers. Disbarred is the one that comes to mind, but that's lawyers.
Had his medical license taken away.
Medical license was revoked. Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
He had to
Um,
get it back. He went to community college medical school
I would assume he just had one forged.
to get it back the second time. Well, he's doing his best
Or maybe you
Well,
don't
it's
need a
understandable.
license for this like ship
for
medicine.
the. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
maybe you
you-
don't need a license.
You should have called
Not
yourself a
true.
doctor, and they went, "You're hired."
Well, yeah, I
I'm
guess it
doing
just
his
depends where
best.
you are, really. But the thing is that some of the things that I'm curious about, that I'm sorry, I'm just going back to look at a thing from our private chat that I'm trying to think. Is someone cryo-frozen? Do I need to worry about that?
No, we were just joking around.
Okay. Like, wait, what's happening? As he goes trying to pick up morsels of story. So it's the thing is it's an appendectomy, and so I'm wondering if it should have gone fine, and I'm wondering if there has been any suspicion that this situation was tampered with in some way.
Oh yeah, Levitt thinks that completely. Levitt trusted Rust like wholeheartedly. I mean, wasn't even thinking about that. It was an appendectomy. Why would she be thinking, "Oh, Rust is gonna kill my dad"? Because it's an
Well, yeah,
appendectomy.
yeah, obviously.
But 100%, and I'm sure, like, even when I'm sure Russ like tried to plead his case with her, and like 100% thinks that someone like paid Rust off to kill their father.
Yes.
Fergus is going to start making the popcorn now. Thank you.
So, just out of curiosity, does Rust blame himself for what happened? Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I figure. But I assume has he yet figured out anything about what happened? I mean, I'm assuming he's innocent, but I don't know if I'm right. But
He sneezed at the wrong
let me
time.
think about this.
okay, yes, get back.
No,
get back to us
my
on that, yeah.
idea is that it was tampered with by an outside force.
Yes.
That's sort of what I was thinking too, regardless of what Levitt believes.
Yes. So it was tampered with by an outside force. This is talking outside of the character.
Of course.
Outside of like, this is like looking down. Or was like obviously another noble like put like anti-clotting factors into the thing, and so he just bled out.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
something.
Oh yeah, no, any number of things. Yeah.
Or any number of interventions that made it impossible for him to survive the surgery.
Yeah.
But Rust fully believes that it was his actions that led to Baxter's death.
Yeah. Good.
And
okay.
so when Levitt was like, "It's all your fault," he was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
It
Well, no,
really
yeah,
is.
totally.
I mean, the guy's
Excellent.
name was Baxter. Was he really contributing to anything? I mean,
That was my dad.
Oh,
To be fair,
no.
was a horrible father, but Levitt's still like, that was my dad.
Yeah. So just to go over, make sure we're checking the boxes here. Have you described yet? I forget. Have you described?
You went
Levitt?
straight into details, and
I
I was
know.
like, yes, let's do it.
I had to. What does Levitt look like?
I made a joke when we went to our first session. Every time I would describe something, you would go, "Oh my god!" I was like, "I am emotionally devastating Jim right now with the description of Levitt because I have picked the worst backstory for her." Anyway, so Levitt is androgynous, uses they she pronouns. Has unreadable eyes, has a gorgeous sort of angular face that is sort of like when she was younger, she had sort of like well-fed like cherub sort of cheeks, but now it has like gone away as she's gotten older. A lithe body, wears leather like utility vest, everything immaculately dressed all the time. Very much like always put together. Yeah.
Cool. Let's see. So we have several things. We have some things under equipment. You've got let's see. You've got the average wage. That's basically what it says there.
I think the reason, so I do say that Levitt is very well paid. The reason she has an average wage and like average funds is because she spends so much damn money.
Yeah.
Like she keeps like baubles and like jewelry and stuff. She doesn't even like wear it and show it off. She just has it and it makes her feel better. That's why she just she even like asks people to borrow money. Like she's like never has money on her because she's gone on a freaking shopping spree all the time. That's why Levitt has an average wage.
Yeah,
that's my
sense.
story with that.
Makes sense.
Like staying in the fucking 5-star hotel and spending all her money the minute she gets it.
Let's see. The armored vest we can pretty much describe. It's 2 armor, which we can pretty much describe as needed when we get to clothing and whatever on the day. But unless there's anything you'd like to tell us about it right now.
It's just part of her utility vest. I think that she wears sort of like that old, like the puffy blouse type of thing with like a leather vest over it. And it is, you wouldn't think it was armored. She's had it specially made to be armored over it.
Cool.
She's very like a leather type of like that sort of assassin type of thing.
So have you, what did you pick out for your weapons?
So Levitt, being that the Teagues come from like very old money generations, like I think there's a way to trace them even back before like this whole move to space happened. She is very much into this vintage type of thing. She doesn't use space weapons unless she absolutely like she can use them if she wants to. Like if she has to pick up something, she's fine with it. But what she carries is this ornate, silent, sort of like old school like filigreed gold revolver. It has a silencer on it. It's small, handheld. She keeps it tucked into a holster. Very much slow. Yeah, like with pearl grips, very much slow reloading. She loves
it. Like a projectile firing thing?
Yes, it's a
my
revolver.
God.
Yeah.
That's old.
It can be used close and it's like very expensive. Like you look at it and you know like it is a vintage, it's ornate, like it is expensive and it does 2 harm. Like it significantly will harm you.
Yeah.
And then on her back, she carries hand axes that she can throw.
Ooh, nice.
And they're not as ornate, of course. They are hand axes, but they have into the wooden handles have like these beautiful designs carved with her initials on them. And I think they have like a quote or a name on them that I'm gonna figure out. But she has hand axes that she uses. Like, of course, she can get up close and personal with them, but she does like use them a lot to attack from a distance. I picked flexible so they can be thrown, and they also do 2 harm. Like she kills. Like that is her thing.
Yeah.
She will kill people.
All right, cool. So the lover descriptor. Without love, there is nothing. Special bond in my heart of hearts. I know blank is my true love.
Unfortunately,
have we filled that in?
It is Rust. Unfortunately, she has not let go of the feeling she has for the person who murdered her father. She believes murdered her.
This is so messy.
Well, the exciting part of this also for me is that it as it describes it, it says you have an extra bond. You may fill it in at any time. You may change who this bond is with at the end of any session.
Nope.
And when you do, make the move opposite.
You can test your love too. Like if Russ does something, like I can. Oh, how do I feel about this? Yeah.
So
fun.
Yeah.
Marcus shall attempt to woo and win Levitt's heart.
So this will be fascinating. Is there so? I think we should probably take a quick break in a moment. But before we do, is there anything else you want us to know about Levitt right now?
I will say that I think I don't know if we have determined how long. It might be something we do, like determine how long everyone's been on this ship,
Yeah.
things like that. But Levitt came on the ship. Or I don't know, like if Rust has been there longer than Levitt, whatever. Okay, so Levitt came on the ship not knowing Rust was there, and stayed because Rust was there because she's so pissed off at him. She's staying out of spite and is going to make his life hell. That's the whole reason she stayed.
Yes. I think Rust has been attached to the ship for some time now.
So she did not know he was there. She like probably just needed a ride somewhere, and it ended up like it's probably the cheapest option, so she's staying, and she can handle bad places. Like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But she found out Rust was there, and she was like, "Oh, well, this is going to be fun for me specifically. I'm going to make his life hell." So that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Excellent. Awesome. Okay, so I'd like to take us to break, and we will be back shortly. We will take care of a bit more world building and bonds, and hopefully we'll be able to get through that. We will see you folks in a little bit. We have returned, and we are now going to get a little bit more into the relationships between these characters and some things about the setting that we're going to be setting up for this. And I'm going to go same order as we did before. We are going to we're going to tackle the bonds, and so we are going to be starting once again with Hollow for his character's bonds. Let me pull up the merchant here. So you have 1, 2, 3. You have 4 potential bonds you can use here if you wish. It'd be cool to do at least 2 of them. But you can do all of them if you want. Up to you can do 3 or 4 if you want.
Sure.
What grabs you here?
Let's see here. Let's just start from the top. Because I want some because they involve other people, so I definitely want some buy-in from other people. My first bond says blank once pretended to be a big buyer to get me out of a difficult situation. So who would that be?
I think that Levitt could do it because Levitt is very trained in that sort of, convincing people, like nobility. She knows how to convince people. So maybe, like helped you out of a difficult situation.
Sure. Yeah, that works. Yeah, let's just write that in there. Levitt once pretended to be a big buyer to get me out of a difficult situation.
Excellent.
Yeah, I definitely think it was, I sort of oversold my, the worth of my goods and, sort of used Levitt's, goodwill and name to sort of like, hey, yeah, look, I've got a big buyer here. Right.
So this was before the incident, I take it.
Right.
Yeah. So that's kind of how you know each other. The person, which makes sense. It makes sense that Jackson would have had a fair enough amount of interaction with the Teagues, so that works out perfectly.
Let's see here. Then next one says, you think blank is the most attractive person on the ship.
It would be funny.
Robin. Oh.
It would be funny if it was me.
It would be. Like I think Russ is great for all the wrong reasons. Russ is fantastic. He's a bad surgeon. He kills someone. Oh, he's a surgeon?
Shut
Sign
up.
you
He's a
up.
good surgeon. He's a good surgeon.
You can cut me. You can cut me open.
Do you want to go with that? Is that what we want to do?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Excellent. I think maybe it's more to do. So you said you appreciated Rust on an ideological level. Was that it first, and then maybe it turned into more?
Well, I've got like, you know, his journal. I don't even understand what's in it.
Oh yeah.
I don't even understand what's in here, but he wrote it.
Yes. Excellent.
I think that blank would make an ideal business partner. You know, honestly, I think it would be Arena. Honestly, like, hear me out. You would make an excellent business partner if you weren't on your nonsense, right? Right?
Wow.
Right? I think
hustle, that drive, got connection.
Yeah, you got hustle, you got drive, connection.
Got the aliens on my side.
No, but you know, if we could just leave this whole alien bit, you know, if we just not talk about it at work, no religion at work, sort of thing, you would make an ideal business partner.
Except the aliens are involved in the work, man. So I don't know what to tell you.
Even if they all want to see us suffer. That's all they're good for.
We suffer because we've strayed away from the aliens.
No, because they hate us and they want to be us.
Actually,
they don't hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah.
There's so much here. Do we like that?
Yeah, I like that. I think that's pretty funny. Like,
Okay.
just let's talk religion at work. You'd be great.
Awesome.
And then the last one is blank is a fool set in their ways, and you will open them to new experiences. I feel like Fergus is pretty set in his ways. like I look, ham is a very small horizon.
I love ham.
Yes,
I love that pink soft meat like that. That's great.
Yes, very human of you. Well,
yes, it's important to
trying to sell them on
No
things
bones, no hair.
Okay. Right. Yep. That's great. I think we could open you up to new things like, non-stiff vests. Irish Spring, perhaps.
Oh my God.
It's oil.
Well, there are other oils.
Well, you got engine oil. You got all kinds.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah. Ham oil.
You will be my Pygmalion masterpiece.
Oh no. There's so much here. It's so good.
Look, Fergus is going to take off his headband and it's going to be like, hot old sea dog at school, just like, oh, wow.
Oh. I cannot wait to see how things unfold with this, just because of the many things just already. That
ham oil. Oh, come on, Rust. Oh.
Ham oil.
Oh.
Oh dear. Cool. Okay, so those are your bonds. I think we're pretty solid on these. So if we're good, we're going to head over to the old Sea Dog. To tackle your bonds. You also have 4 bonds here. Again,
Yep.
It'd be good if we could do at least 2 of them, but you can do 3 or 4 if you want. What looks good?
Well, the one that I was talking to Mem about at our last first session 0 was that I know that Irina hears the sounds at night too.
Do we like that?
Yeah.
What kind of sounds are we hearing? Is it the
It's a little
vibrations?
we can it's going to tie into the space legends of the melodies.
Yeah,
they're not coming from the engines.
Yeah, those melodies. Yeah, we talked about melodies earlier, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Especially with the language of Fergus's people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tie all that in.
Do we Mem, would you be good with that?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Do we think that Irina does hear something?
Oh, Irina 100% hears it. Feels it.
How does that connect to her faith?
It just gives her strength. She's like, I know there's more there. Okay. And it makes her just drives her to figure it out.
Does she think it's connected, or does she see it as a different thing?
I think it's all connected.
All right. Well, cool.
Yeah. The way I had it kind of gone in my head was that Irina came across Fergus doing something working, whatever it is that Fergus does, and Fergus was just kind of humming under their breath, and Irina's heard that tune before, but not from Fergus, and there's that recognition of, oh,
yeah, nice. I like it. So that's one. What's another one you'd like to use here?
I think Fergus took Rust under their wing when Rust first showed up, and I've taught Rust everything they know about the sea, or tried to teach Rust everything I know about the sea.
Yes, I agree. The sea of stars.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything about the void.
Interesting. Cool. Yeah. So I guess so how has Rust been reacting to this? Is this something that have New Horizons been being opened up, or is this just sort of something you're more humoring Fergus on?
Well, it's like, at least Fergus isn't trying to be my friend.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Fergus is alone. Has been alone for a very long time, and kind of identified that with Rust, that isolation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the more of the mentor, ship is like, I can do that relationship.
Yep. I'm going to teach you how not to get rolled in town, kid. There are some taverns you just don't go to.
Nice. I like this.
Jumps,
Russ,
skip,
a
cut.
masochist goes to them anyway.
yes, I was gonna say, like
Fergus shows up with the fist and the bail money.
Yeah. Jump cut to him getting thrown faced out, like into the mud outside this seedy bar.
Absolutely fair.
Absolutely smashed.
Yeah. Nice. So are there, do you want to do any of the others, or is that, or are you good?
Well, I just want to ask Katy, I think, what about I think Fergus would think that Levitt is too impulsive and that they're dangerous to have around, because Levitt wasn't supposed to be here this long.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a trip, and Levitt always like impulsive.
And I don't think Levitt has given anyone a reason why she's stuck. Like, she's not, unless Rust has told anyone, Levitt's not like told anyone their relationship or past relationship. So whenever Fergus is like, why are you still here? What, when are you leaving? Levitt's like, eh.
And Death seems to follow this woman around. I mean, people die around her a lot.
there's a dead body at her feet, and she's like, "That was an accident. I don't have it."
Yeah.
They tripped onto my bullet.
Ran into my knife 10 times.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, it just
I
sort of
told
happens.
you she's gonna be a problem.
Just kind of happens. Yeah, there's an assassin going around that's been going around very, very, someone's been killing people with an antique weapon. I wonder who that could be.
Wait, your name's Levitt Teague. The assassin's name Levitt Teague. It's a common name.
Uh-huh. Not out of here, kid.
Killed with bullets. What the hell?
I don't think anybody really is in the position where they would have parents that
Yeah.
would know Fergus enough to say, "Hey, keep an eye on my kid for me." I mean, if we had like a young sailor or something like that.
Yeah.
But-
That makes sense. Unless we want to do something secretive behind someone's back. But no, I don't think so. I think we're good.
Yeah,
I think we're good. No, that's fine. That is good. Cool. So now we are moving on to Irina. Let's see. So we're going once again to the scholar. You have 4 potential bonds down there. We'd like to do at least 2 of them. What grabs you?
So I could do probably most of them. I think for Jackson does not believe in your discipline. You think they are a fool.
Fair. Super fair.
It's weird because Jackson does think you'd be a good business partner were it not for that discipline. Strangely. Or what Jackson sees as foolishness, you see as discipline, which I think is interesting.
Just Jackson needs to do better. So if we're okay with that one, I like that one.
Yep, I love it.
Yeah.
You've been secretly studying Fergus after I heard that song.
Well, that's why I was wondering if you wanted to change the third one. You're convinced Fergus can communicate with the void.
Oh.
Change birds to the void.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They're not going to be
Either one,
birds exactly.
yeah.
But they can be something.
Yeah.
I'm
Be
good with
something.
either one. Yeah, I'm good with either one. I was just offering that up as a suggestion.
Yeah. If you use the third one, it will be something that we'll change it to something that could be communicated with often, and be that the void, or be it some sort of common space creature, or a creature commonly found on a number of different planets, that kind of thing. It could be any of those.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we could
We
say
could
the
even
void
call it a
instead.
bird. But yeah.
Yeah.
You want to say the void?
It's the bird void.
Yeah,
The
so
bird void.
Fergus is convinced that you can communicate with the void.
Oh yeah, you've convinced blank you can communicate with.
Oh. Well,
No?
okay.
Unless
I
you
kinda
want
like
it to be
this-
someone else.
Study. If you want to do the studying, that's fine too. I like either one.
I don't think there's anything wrong with rewording it to "you're convinced Fergus can
Yeah.
communicate with the void."
You could do that too.
That's true.
If
Yep.
Jim is cool with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. It's up to you how you want to do it. Because I know if you liked the studying thing, you could do that one with another one if you want. So it's whatever you want to use.
Okay. So yeah, we'll say I'm convinced that Fergus can communicate with the void.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And so that is 2. Do you want to do any others?
In that case, secretly studying Rust.
For what purpose?
Scientific
Why
purposes.
not?
Right.
How can a man be this sad?
There's something wrong with that boy.
There are several
Well-
layers of sadness that Irina is just like, I have to unpeel this and figure out what's underneath this onion of misery.
Well, and I mean, it could be if you're a religious scholar. I mean, this is a thing where, you might, if as someone who is part of a church, it might be a thing where it's like you have an imperative to help people, or to at least to help if your church is like that. So you might feel you have an imperative to help Rust for whatever reason.
Oh God,
You're
if you
handing
start
me
talking
out
about
pamphlets.
if you start talking about Thetans, I'm done.
Irina's just gonna like quietly be like, I can help ease your suffering.
He's like, so you've got morphine.
Whoa.
That got dark real quick.
Again, that was just a suggestion, but what do you think?
I like it. Both from a scientific and a religious perspective, Rust suffering is just like the siren song.
Maybe there might even be a parallel somewhere we can play with something you have been studying, where we have to figure out. Again, it's you have it's alien devices. We'll see what we can figure out. But like where did we get that laser scalpel? I don't know. What the thing was possible.
It's like, how does this thing expand and contract this way to open the ribs?
Yes.
So many
because
questions.
it's possible. I think it's possible that Rust assembled his kit from whatever he could get. So there might be some pieces of alien tech in there.
100%.
I mean, that's another possible angle.
Okay.
Do you want to do the fourth one, or is 3 good?
Levitt frightens you. You don't like the way they look at you.
Those are just my eyes, Arena.
Look, I know sometimes people can't help it when their eyes be doing weird eye things, but she's not into it.
Levitt has seen you studying Rust from afar.
I know. It's not like that. It's not like that.
Trust me, she doesn't care.
But also, Levitt did kill somebody and decided she liked it, and then that's the whole thing. So Irina's like, nah, I'm good.
You don't know that though.
She can see it in them eyes.
You look like you like it.
Right. You look like you'd like
That's
to
fair.
stab somebody.
That's fair. Yeah, you're right. You are right.
You to talk very casually about killing people. I don't know. It could be something to do with
I
that.
just sit there and talk casually about like disemboweling someone. That there is a reason. Yeah. You know what? Valid fear. Very valid.
Like disembowelment could be shared ground for Rust and Levitt to reconnect over.
It's entirely possible. Knowing surgical details is kind of a thing. Okay. Cool.
Sharpest blade contest.
So now over to Rust. So we can look at your bonds. Again, you have these 4. Again, like to do at least 2 of them. What looks good?
I was thinking, so my first one is blank, put a hand in when it mattered and helped you save a life. I was thinking Fergus would be good for that one. I have this image of me being like elbow deep in someone's chest. And I'm like, can you compress this artery for me? I'm busy. I need you to compress this. I need you to do this. Or like, even like you act as my surgical assistant. And I'm like, hemostat.
What it's tools and it's just another machine that needs to be fixed.
Yeah. Oro silk.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It really
I
is.
like that. Absolutely.
Cool.
And with me being studied by Arena, I was thinking my second one, blank seems suitably impressed by your skills, and you just can't help showing off in front of them.
Okay, wait, no, Levitt might be in a corner jealous and mad now. Just fuming in a corner.
I'm like, look at my special suturing technique.
He's like, yes, show me more. Yes.
He used to suture for
A lot of sad girl hours for Levitt over there.
And poor Jackson's going, wait, but I was okay.
Oh.
Oh, that's true. It could be either of them.
I like the idea of Russ being completely oblivious to what's going on with Jackson.
Yeah.
And focusing on
That's
her.
true. That is true. And so my third bond, I don't think fits anyone based off of the backstory that I've created for him.
Yeah.
I'll just read it out. So we've got that on the record, which is blank has been beside you and has seen everything you've seen. I think I'm a little bit too standoffish to have had a person like that for me.
Levitt was until the murder.
Yeah, there was that. We could interpret it that way if you wanted to do that.
Well, I was actually saving my last one for Levitt, which
excellent.
is Levitt seems to you to be doomed to self-destruction.
Excellent.
Also fair.
Why ever would Levitt be doomed to self-destruction?
I just don't think that assassinations are going to lead to a happy and healthy life.
Not a healthy habit. Not very mindful.
No.
How did
like,
killing my dad lead your life?
First
this isn't about me. This isn't about me.
God.
First
It's not
exactly. See, there it is.
This is
It's not
about
exact-
you and your choices and your life decisions.
Which all comes back to your choice.
Repeatedly killing
I
people
was
is not a long-term career choice.
I think that Russ knows firsthand what a murder can do to your life. So,
Hmm.
Ooh,
Yeah.
shots fired.
Yeah, it's very fair. But will this is this voyage, is this ship, being on this ship, the first? Had you before you met each other on the ship? Was that the last time you'd seen each other since the thing happened, or?
Oh, it was probably the
When you
last
broke
time
up?
we've seen each other was at the trial.
Yeah. Yeah.
Levitt kept tabs on Russ.
Oh.
Okay, well, I probably didn't notice.
Yeah. No, because she did it secretly. She 100%. Yeah.
Yep. Excellent. Okay, cool. That covers those. And so now we go to the mercenary bonds for Levitt. So again, you got 4 of them. And another one that you had from the lover. So we need like 1 or 2 at least here. But if you want to do all of them, you can.
So my first one is blank is secretly paying you extra to do a few private jobs for them. I couldn't think of one. I thought that Jackson would be like the natural choice for that, but I actually like another one for Jackson, which is blank has fought on your side before, you trust them implicitly. I actually like that one for Jackson because I like the idea that Jackson has my little book of all my like receipts and stuff, that if I die, Jackson can sell these people out. Or if I get like, put in jail or something, Jackson has my back. Now, whether that trust goes both ways, that's up to Jackson. But Levitt believes that Jackson would have that book, or Jackson doesn't have the. Jackson knows where the book is, like where he could always find the book.
I mean, look, I trust you. It's just really awkward because you've got this thing with Rust, and like, I'm not going to talk about Rust, but it's all awkward. It's so very awkward.
Be fair, you don't know my past with Rust. You just know that there's a little weird feeling there. It's
Yeah, you look at him like you want to kill him, and like, I
look at everyone like I want to kill them, to be fair.
Well, like, how public was this trial, and how public was the engagement?
I mean, on Epitome, it was. It just matters on. Or where Jackson was there, right? Jackson.
Yeah,
did
Jackson
before.
would know about the
he knows
Jackson would know about the
everything.
engagement and the
Well,
death.
that ties into. That's probably why I trust Jackson. Then Jackson is
know,
from my
so-
life before. Yeah.
It's just so awkward that I'm here and everyone's so hot. It's just it's really
So I think the secretly paying you extra to do a few private jobs might work for Fergus, but I don't think it's like assassination jobs. So I don't think that fits Fergus unless there's something I don't know about Fergus.
No, I mean, Fergus tends to think that you're impulsive, right? So,
is it like get the hell out of here jobs, but then she keeps coming back. They keep coming back.
I mean,
No,
we don't even have to put anything there. I just thought that might be something for Fergus.
yeah, I'm thinking here for a second.
Well, the thing
Paying to
is
keep them out of trouble.
we haven't even decided. The ship may need, like, you may need help on the ship.
It could be the type of thing
Possibly.
that I'm also like, whereas Jackson is a merchant, I might be good at getting stuff like
Yeah, I was gonna
under
say
the table.
yeah. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that they think Levitt's impulsive, and they're kind of wary of that. But Levitt Fergus knows people, but Levitt can go places Fergus can't and
Mhm.
acquire things. So if there's
Yeah.
something that's needed that is outside of what Fergus's purview is, then they go to Levitt to do it. I like that. I can go with that.
Funny, you said you didn't trust me, Arena, because you remind me of my sister, and I wish for you to be safe.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like it. Still scared, but I like it.
That's fine. Her sister is probably scared of her
Oh.
too. And I think Rust is weak, so I bully him to get my way.
Of course.
We had a great relationship prior.
It wasn't, yeah, it
Oh,
was
God.
great. Great before.
Oh no. Okay.
We were really, really happy together. Really, really happy.
I'm hearing sarcasm, I think.
Oh, it was serious. We were really great. And then
Jackson
killed my
doesn't buy
dad.
that.
My dad. Why'd you kill me, Dad?
Fergus doesn't either.
No, that's all mine. My bond is just, I think Rust is weak.
That's fair. I would like, if I may, and this is just a thing that is just suddenly after seeing this has just come up real quick for me in my head, is that I would like to, and I'll add this if I may. I would like to put I'd like to put a veil on gaslighting for this specifically. Just 'cause I would prefer not to have flashbacks while I'm running the game if I possibly can.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
It's all just a thing. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, no, that sounds awesome. This sounds awesome. Very cool. Very cool. I love it. Excellent. Okay. So this is going to be great. So now that we've got our bonds together, we're all very nicely entangled. I noticed no one took a separate bond with Trinket, but that's okay. That will be,
I'm going
It's
to write
really-
down what I see Trinket as, and it's one of those like hairless Egyptian cats. That's what I
Oh.
see Trinket as.
Trinket's parents made me a promise to keep them safe on this journey.
there it is.
I love that.
Perfect.
And it's not just this journey, but I mean, just,
For life.
yeah.
Yes. I love it. Excellent. Good. Because then that gives us more material to play with. Excellent. Cool. So now let us see here. We need to talk a little bit about the ship. What kind of ship this is? This is obviously we are doing odd jobs on a ship of some kind. There must be a reason for this. Everyone, you each have your own individual reasons for traveling, and you sort of ended up on this ship. I assume, and some people have more connections in the background, I think, than others. So there's things going on there. Everyone's going to get to name a feature of this ship. Telling us one thing this ship has, or one thing about this ship that we know about. Again, as a reminder, I'm kind of assuming that ships are capable of faster than light travel in some fashion, but faster than light communication is often a problem. So it's often, messages are carried on ships and such when they can make it. Some physical thing has to make the trip in order for there to be some communication in any amount of reasonable time. So what do we? So anyone who has one, it doesn't have to be in a particular order. What do we think about the ship?
I want there to be a state of the art or as new as the ship can handle, tracking system, because that would be one thing that keeps Levitt there, is for tracking hits and things, like people she needs to assassinate, knowing where people are.
Mm-hmm.
That would be something that definitely keeps her there.
So how about it's got access to the latest data wherever. I mean, that's part of the selling point of people taking the ship, is that communication, while not faster than light, you can at least
But very quickly can link up with local networks wherever it goes.
Yeah.
Excellent. So maybe it's got kind of like I kind of want to say a Rosetta Stone type thing. That's not exactly what I want, but it's close enough. You know what I'm saying? It's got it can very quickly interpret.
You have great download and upload speeds.
Excellent.
I think that would also be a reason for Irina to be on the ship, because it's got this technology that we don't quite understand where it came from or how it works exactly. And so she's on the ship specifically to just kind of, once again, study the technology, but also it's going to various places that she can also do some researching while she's there.
Cool. Maybe there is something a little odd about this ship. We're not sure.
The ship is old.
Yeah, it's so old and yet so efficient and effective at everything. It doesn't quite make sense.
It's been retrofitted maybe half a dozen times or more. It's served as cargo. It's served as passenger. It's done all kinds of things. It was involved in a brief skirmish, or a brief war that broke out between two. It's done a lot. So it's kind of clear that it's been retrofitted, but there's stuff on it that is like, wait, shouldn't have. Whatever, it works.
It's like Fergus. It's clearly aged, but still timeless somehow.
Yeah.
Excellent. I mean, we could count that as basically. May, did you have a separate? Mem, did you have a separate? This happens. M names. Mem, did you have a separate feature you wanted to add to the ship, or specifically, or what is that?
Let me think about it.
Sure. No worries. I like the idea that the communication system might in part be alien tech. We're not sure. But yeah. Let's see. Who else has a feature?
Built-in litter boxes.
There's a little Roomba named Mouse that just goes around and cleans everything up. Mo, I'm sorry. I was watching Wally way too much when I was spending time with my grandson.
Yeah, we have to be careful about using.
Yeah, but that's why I was going with Mouse.
Yeah. This year the Disney lawyers are out for blood because the first Mouse cartoon has gone into the public domain, so we have to be careful about what we call things. But that's fine. But so is that that's I mean it can have litter boxes. That's and a Roomba. That's fine. So I think thus far we've had. Does anyone else want to contribute a detail?
I think it has a half-working hydroponics bay.
Ooh.
Oh, which was actually going to tie into what I was going to say, which is a partially abandoned atrium. Because you mentioned it was a passenger ship at some point. So I was thinking it had like a plant atrium with like maybe like a water feature or something. But not so much anymore. But like this big area with big windows and glass just like facing the outside, so you could see these big views of space. And there's just like empty pots and benches and dirt. Or maybe if it's hydroponics, like, so there's actually functioning hydroponics, growing stuff elsewhere on the ship, but this part has been left to ruin.
Yeah. Probably not far from the hydroponics bay because it was, they would have brought stuff in back and forth.
Yeah. Maybe there's a library, a small library, but with like some interesting texts. Old texts, new texts.
Surprising amount of surgical journals.
The Vashti Narada. I mean,
lot of lights on in the light. What format are we thinking of for these texts?
Betamax. No.
Laser discs.
Are they the kind of like holographic type of
thing? Yeah, maybe like some like holographic thing.
Yeah, crystal
like a mixture of holographic and old type of thing.
Yeah, there's some like, classic physical books, but mostly like the holographic ones. But those physical books are key.
No, physical books like actual dead trees.
Yes.
Ooh,
beautiful dead trees.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Cool. Now that in and of itself is almost slightly mysterious. I presume, and this is kind of, so we will need to name the ship, but we don't have to do that right now necessarily. I do wonder, is this basically, so just to get this clear in my head as to kind of how this ship is probably fairly big, because it's got all these things in it. But the joy of now in Alas for the Awful Sea, it's assumed that there's like a full crew, but thankfully, because of space tropes, you don't need many people to actually fly a spaceship. So is this pretty much everyone who's on the ship, or are there other people on the ship, do we think?
Fergus seems to be the only human member of the crew. Everything else is automated or holograms or computer programs.
Well, technically, I'm also a member of the crew.
Okay, well, you and I are the only ones on.
Yeah.
Wait,
okay,
but if there are no people, then why is there a whole surgeon?
Well, because people stay on the ship.
We take.
You transport people. I assume. Yeah. I assume your business is you transport people by and large right now. Is that what it is, or is it?
I was confused.
Yeah, I would like to think that Jackson actually has no clue that there aren't other human members of the crew, and he just interacts with the holograms as if, my good man. Of course.
It's like when you say please and thank you to Alexa.
Yeah, but just that's like one step further. Like it's pretty clear. He's either ignoring that they are holograms, or they aren't off in his presence ever, and he's not sure, or he doesn't know. It's Like it's like being stuck in the holodeck, but it's outside. Like, he's like, I go talk to this hologram every day and sit down and talk to them.
The tech is so good you can't even tell, or you're just oblivious.
I think he's oblivious. Jackson it doesn't penetrate. It's not that important to Jackson's purpose, so it just doesn't penetrate that these would not be actual.
It's like
people.
there are glitches. There are ways of telling they're holograms. It's just that Jackson doesn't particularly pay attention to that kind of thing, I guess.
Also, he kind of craves probably her human attention. So it's like, like, I mean, these have to be people, because if they aren't, if they aren't,
fair. That's fair. That's very fair. Interesting. Do we think the artificial crew members, are they like, can they cross communicate across everything on the ship, or are they dedicated to separate parts of it?
I like the idea that it's like one system with different faces.
Yeah.
So it's like, here is the cook, and here is the captain, but it's just the one computer running the whole thing.
A singular AI, but
I like the idea that it's not that, like, nominally, I guess Fergus would be. I like the idea that nominally Fergus would be the captain, but you can have this thing boot up that will show a different captain if you want one.
I want everyone to know I'm paying attention. I just don't. Katy as a person doesn't know anything about ships, nor does she care, but I do know that Levitt would have came on to this ship, found a single room for herself, doesn't matter who had it, kicked them out, and commandeered the room and dared anyone to try to take it from her. That's my piece.
That's important.
I'm just saying that is my contribution.
Was it one of the other crew members here? Was it one of the other people here, or was it someone who's no longer on the ship?
Probably that. I don't think it would have been any of these. Like, I'm not going to do that to any other player. No, I would not do that to another player.
It was the captain's quarters, which, if the captain's going to impress high-ranking passengers and whatever, he has to have a dining room and whatever. And Levitt so they kicked out the AI of the captain from their quarters.
Levitt has I have so many things. They have to be in here. So
Captain stays on the bridge now.
Yeah, that is the thing. That is my big contribution to this.
That's fine. We can do it that way. I almost like the idea though that like if you had a captain's quarters, you could have like it almost sounds like this was almost a pleasure ship at one time. I don't know, it's weird.
Yes, I like the idea that it used to be like it had once one of its lifetimes was as like a yacht almost.
Yeah. Interesting. That's interesting.
And maybe it still has its fancy yacht name.
Yeah. Yeah. It could.
Because it's unlucky to rename ships.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's very interesting. But yeah, well, part of the reason that occurred to me is because it's the idea is that because there's no physical captain, there may be a thing where sometimes you can charge people extra if they want to stay in those quarters, or you did up until Levitt arrived on the ship. And whoever was in those quarters, be it the Captain AI or be it another passenger you had, they kicked them out. And now no one else gets to go in there, which I like. Okay. Cool. So this means then, especially if Levitt is doing sort of a barter with Fergus, that means that the only people who are paying for this trip are Jackson and Arena.
Oh no, Levitt's paying for the trip. Levitt just also hires Fergus or Fergus hires Levitt to do other jobs. No, Levitt is a paying passenger. You want to stay on board the ship, you're going to keep paying.
Okay. All right. Interesting. We will need
I'm
to
paying
think of
in different ways
yeah.
with my dignity
And your soul.
and my soul.
Yes. Yes. Like most jobs. So let's see. We go down to here. Okay. I would like everyone to to tell me, and this can be very brief, but the sector of space that we will be visiting will have 3 things in it, at least. We'll define more about those things as we go, but at least 3 potential places to visit when we get into this system that we're visiting, this sector of space. Not system is too small. It's not just a single system necessarily. Sector of space, we'll call it. That's vague enough. A sector of space. We don't want just one freaking solar system necessarily, unless we do, I guess. But I'd like everyone to tell me a little bit about a local myth or legend for this sector of space. And it can be, and again, we can do this in any order.
Wait, we each tell you 3 things or 3 things in total?
I'm sorry. I was confused. I jumped ahead on one of the things. One thing. Each tell me one thing. A legend or a myth about this sector of space, and it can be.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I got it. I've been sitting here waiting for it. Okay. I don't know, Jim, you could probably tie this to something in the area,
Mhm.
but there is a family called the Haberlanes. And there is a like a lore or like old folk tale about them that their family is cursed and family members are not allowed to pass into the usual like afterlife, whatever we may believe that is, and instead their souls are tied to some like eldritch like aura, to like a deal with an eldritch aura.
I'm sorry, your audio is kicking out again.
Oh my god. It lowered me again. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So they are not allowed to pass into a normal afterlife, whatever we believe that is.
Mhm.
And they their souls are bound to some like eldritch thing that's like greedy and intends to use them as like food or like keep them as like slaves for their entire afterlife. And like because of that, they use their whole afterlife to trap people in who they come across, in this sector or whatever, to appease this horror that has them, hoping that it would set them free.
So the family does, or the spirits do?
When they're dead, like the spirits do, yeah. I think the family, like the Haberlanes, are long gone. It's just this like
okay.
Folk tale that's been told, with that sort of thing.
Okay. So they are long gone. Can you spell Haberlane for me?
Habborlain.
Excellent. All right. Excellent. Cool. Anyone else have one?
So my idea is that there's this particular region of space that no one travels to. Like it's not a planet, it's not a star, it's just this blank, empty interstellar space that no one travels through, because the rumor is that if you do, you will be changed. And the way that some translations, or some people say it in their language, the translation comes across as replaced. So you don't go there.
Interesting.
Gee, I wonder how that rumor got started.
One wonders. I mean, we could connect it to that if we want to.
It's Irina would notice this, maybe the others would. The vibrations of the ship. There's always that background noise on a ship. If you've ever taken a cruise or been on any type of motorboat, there's always a background vibration or sound, just like when you're driving in a car. But as you get close to, as a ship gets close to that region, it changes. The sound changes. And it's one of those subtle subconscious things where you want to recoil from it or move away from it.
Cool. Excellent. That is a thing I will be able to play with. So that part of the that area probably has a name. We'll figure that out. Let's see. So that's Katy and Robin. Anyone else have one?
No universe does have an end, and if you can get there, you can get anywhere else.
And I presume maybe there's a rumor that that end is somehow accessible in this sector.
One would hope.
Excellent.
There is somewhere locally a planet, a moon, something, where some aliens left a direct portal to them. And so if we can find it, we can get back in contact.
Excellent. Is it known whether it's a portal to another place in regular space or if it's a portal to another plane?
We don't know.
Not really? We don't know.
We don't know.
Excellent. Good.
Centuries ago, this was once a very thriving sector. There are massive settlements that are now just mostly ghost towns, where records have been deposited and lost. And there are stories that there are warnings hidden within those records. But you have to find the right settlement.
Okay. Excellent. Good. Okay. So I shall not keep us too terribly longer, but there are a few basic things I want to sort of hammer out. And we'll be taking the rest of it sort of in downtime. The most important thing is we're going to have a primary conflict. We're going to be the three places that I'm going to be getting into in this, where I talked about three places. There are going to be three potential places we can visit during this campaign. And there's going to be something that kind of ties them together, and it's going to involve a conflict, a major conflict. We can have, if we want, a primary and a secondary conflict, if we want to go that way. But I'm going to talk briefly about what the conflict categories are, and we'll just sort of pick one or two conflict categories, and then I'll sort of look at things, and we might talk a little bit about the kinds of things under them, but we don't need to get into huge detail with it right now necessarily. But it's kind of key. These are straight out of Alas for the Awful Sea. But we have four categories. We have four different types of conflict. We have subsistence. How far will we go to get what we need? Is a big one. We have power. Do I accept the status quo or fight against it? we have threat of the unknown. Do I protect myself or something or something I don't understand? Do I protect myself or do I protect something that I don't understand that has come up that is important? Or we have individuality. Who I am is at odds with something I want. What do I do? These are the conundra that different people in this sector will be answering differently, and we need to figure out which one to focus on. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can hang on. Let me see if I can make a quick copy of a thing and do this way. No, hang on just a sec. I'm gonna copy and paste them in our Discord just so that we have that and can therefore do this a little more easily.
I will say off the top of my head with the group we've got, Threat of the Unknown is really like, I would be cool to have maybe like a side one, but Threat of the Unknown is sticking out to me as a main one because we've got basically two people who don't believe in anything at all for different reasons. Someone who is a firm believer, someone who is a thing that people don't and do believe in, and then Levitt who doesn't care, who could be swayed anyway. It's just a really, whatever. But like, I think that is unless anyone, I'm cool with anything because I've played Alas with FLC before, so like I am cool with anything. But that to me seems like the best option for the group and the backstories that we have. That's my opinion.
I was thinking that, and also power, because of like the power that derives from knowledge and the power like balance gained, like, and we've got different classes and different people from different backgrounds in our group.
Yeah.
So I think that could be interesting as well.
Yeah. Also individuality, at least from Fergus's point of view, in that who he is at odds with what he wants, which is to blend in, is to stay accepted and be a part. And with people trying to discover the unknown, and his existence could be challenged.
So let me talk a little bit about the ones that we've been talking about, and then that might help us sort of narrow things down a little bit, maybe. So like Threat of the Unknown, conflicts are things like the needs of man versus the needs of nature, the needs of man versus the needs of the beyond, discrimination versus vulnerability, self-protection versus tolerance. Those are kind of the biggies that are there. What do you know and what you do not know and do not understand could take everything away from you. Family and tradition has made you strong. How much should you open yourself to people and things that are different? And what will you do when you need them to survive? Power, conflicts are things, these for power, there are those that make the rules and those that follow them. What sacrifices will you make to free yourself from the yoke of another? Or are you better off giving in and taking what you can from the system? That's often violence versus oppression, work versus independence, vengeance versus acceptance. With individuality, there is a way things are, a way they have always been, a web of relationships, obligations, protection, and affection. But you want something different, or perhaps you are something different. The true desires of your heart would break those of everyone that surrounds you. That's often family versus desires, social order versus desires, social norms versus identity. And then, of course, we also have subsistence, which is, you're starving, desperate, and destitute. How far you will go to put food on your family's table, that kind of deal. Like turn to crime, exploit things, or starve. What do we think?
Well, when you read back through them, I found, I think, in the individuality quite compelling, actually.
So So I think we're narrowing down then to Threat of the Unknown and Individuality.
Yes.
Which one of those do we like as our primary? Because I've heard Katie said Threat of the Unknown would be a good primary. Either one could work.
And like
What do
I
we
said,
think?
I'm fine with taking the back seat on this because I've played before, and it does not matter to me. Like, it matters to me. You know what I'm trying to say? It matters to me, but I would like y'all to have the first.
Sure.
Well, I think the threat of the unknown ties into the individualities. So putting the threat of the unknown as the primary and then individuality as the secondary.
I agree.
Yeah, I also agree. Also, the threat of the known can be much larger than ourselves, and we can still wrestle with our own personal individuality and as a struggle, as a group, struggling with each other while struggling alone. Maybe somebody will sing "Who Am I?" Who knows?
Okay. So Threat of the Unknown is our primary, and Identity
on
may
mute,
come
I
in.
think.
Yeah. Oh. Am I?
Were you saying stuff for us?
Can you hear me? Oh,
Yes.
oh
Russ. I thought Russ was
I'm
saying.
sorry.
Oh, Russ was saying stuff. Robin was saying stuff.
I was
Robin, are you-
muted.
Ah.
Hmm?
Yes, I was singing it. I agree. I think I like that idea.
Okay. Who am I?
All right. So Threat of the Unknown will be our primary. I'll start. We'll start developing some things. One thing I will need to know is what kind of places to put. There will be groups in conflict in each of these locations, probably. We're gonna have one location that there's more knowledge about that we're gonna have one location that a decent amount, as much as you like to know about. We're gonna have one location that you'll know some things about, and then there'll be a third location that perhaps everyone has heard of, but you don't know a lot about. So these locations can be planetary colonies, they can be space stations, or they can be a thing. Some thing or other in a place. So, for the first location, would we prefer a planetary colony, a space station, or a thing?
Colony?
Colony.
I would like it to be.
I like a colony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. For this first colony, there are a few different types it could be. Its function, and we know about its function, and we know who runs it. For this colony, planetary colony, it could be it could be run by nobility. It could be a religious colony. It could be run by a collective, or it could be run by a democracy. It could be a dictatorship. It could be a corporate colony. And there are different types of colonies that it could be: military, science, medical, a resource extraction, leisure, a way station, or maybe a prison.
I like merchant shipping hub. That seems to be the focus of the ship right now, is transporting people, merchants, making it just a huge merchant shipping, or not. It doesn't even have to be huge, but it's one of the viable non-mining merchant shipping ports.
Yeah, like it's a major stop among trade lanes.
It's Chicago.
It has
Merchant
an
shipping
excellent
hub.
market.
Yep.
So it's a dictatorship?
Yes.
Joking. I
It's
don't
a
know anything about.
It's a corporate dictatorship.
Do we? Is that what we want to? Is that what we want to go to? Do we want to say it's a corporate owned
Fine with me.
type deal? Company?
Yeah.
Works for me.
Okay. Space Chicago.
Space
Is that
Copper.
is that what you would like me to draw on? Because I could.
Yes.
Okay. And so that makes it as it's a major shipping hub. So yeah, it basically acts as a really big way station essentially for all manner of folks coming and going. But the thing is, this is way out there. So it's probably not, it's a very old shipping hub. And it is probably, it's still in use, obviously.
Mhm.
But it does not have necessarily a huge population. Like I said, these are going to have populations kind of analogous to what they would have been for, coincidentally enough, Alas for the Awful Sea. So
Maybe instead of Chicago, we're thinking like Independence.
Yeah, somewhere.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a little more.
Yeah.
So like we can decide. So
I saw your face. You didn't like that, ma'am.
No, it was amazing.
So small would be less than 500 people. Medium would be less than 2,000 people, and large would be less than 5,000 people. Basically.
I think it should be the biggest. It's going to
Yeah.
be like a merchant type of thing. It should be the
Okay.
biggest.
Awesome.
I mean, that's what kept it from dying.
Yeah. Excellent. So it is a large colony, less than 5,000 people. Let me just pull up this this planet creator thing. There is it could be, as far as the terrain goes, this could be a rocky planet, it could be an Earth-like planet, it could be like a water world, it could be a desert world, it could be humid, it could be a frozen planet, it could be a rocky furnace, it could have extreme temperatures. If it's it could be an ice giant. If there's a gas giant, then it's one of the moons. You could have a toxic atmosphere. You could have no atmosphere, depending on how big we want this. If it's a planet, it probably has an atmosphere. If it's big enough to be a planet, and we're not talking about a dwarf planet. But we could be. Just depends on how we want to do it. Do any of these things sound good?
Rocky with a narrow temperate zone.
Yeah, I like the idea of it being Earth-like, but like not really nice.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if it were nice, more people would settle there. So it's like it kind of sucks.
There's like
Okay.
one good part, and then the rest of it's just as miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got like maybe 20 miles near the equator that is habitable
Yeah.
on either side of the equator, and that's it.
So it's like
And-
a little bit like I can't remember the name of the planet in The Left Hand of Darkness, where most of the planet is uninhabitable due to it being very cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my next question. Too hot or too cold, basically. You like too cold? The rest of the planet's too cold?
I like too cold because I'm used to it and I can I can draw from personal experience.
I see.
I can
What do we think?
Do some method acting.
Yeah.
Too cold.
Too cold. Yeah, I like too cold. Vargas kind
Okay.
of seems a little bit too comfortable there. Cold never bothered him.
Too cold elsewhere. Okay. Good. Okay, I can work with that. Rocky, narrow temperate zone. So there's really only very few places you can stick folks. So that's good. Excellent. And primarily, and there are people who live there, obviously, and it's a population of up to like 5,000 people. They're sitting there maintaining that thing because at the insistence of the company.
Mm-hmm.
And we will, I think, over downtime, figure out more things about the company. We'll need to name the company. And we'll get to that. So that's probably, and like I said, we're going to have conflicting factions. We'll talk a little bit about that over Discord as to what the factions are, but we know the type of struggle they're going to have because we just talked about that. So it's a threat of the unknown and identity. So the second place that we know some things about. I'd like to know what kind of thing it is. Is it a planet or a planetary colony? Is it a space station, or is it a thing? It can be. We can have two planets. It's absolutely fine. Or what? But it can also be another thing. So what do we think?
I have been talking a lot.
I sort of want a thing. We said a colony for the first one, right? I sort of want a
Okay.
A space
This
station?
thing.
I don't want to interrupt anybody.
No, I was just clearing my throat.
Okay.
If it is,
I was thinking a space station on a gas planet, kind of floating mid-atmosphere, would be cool.
that.
yeah, we can do that.
Secondary trade hub or travel hub. This is where people go to pick up where we pick up non-trade passengers.
Or it could be a religious pilgrimage.
Yes, I like that.
You can have a religious space station in orbit around a gas giant. Absolutely could.
This is where you go to really cement your suffering.
Yeah.
Yep.
Y'all said that too fast.
Where you go to cement your suffering. So something I need to know.
Well, I was just gonna say, and the other reason for the location is for the third place is a repository of knowledge, alien knowledge. Very little is known about it, but for some reason, this space station is there for that reason.
Can the third thing be a comet? We land on it.
Yeah.
It could be a comet.
Yeah.
And said to be a repository of alien knowledge, or there's something about that is there.
Yes.
Let me go back. Let me circle back real fast to the space. All three of these things may have a population. So the religious space station near a gas giant. The thing I have to ask is, do they worship the same gods, or is this a different religion?
Maybe it's like,
I
you go first.
think that it should be a different religion from what Arena worships, just because I think it would be cool, and Mem, feel free to say otherwise. I think it might be interesting for Arena to have a different perspective on her religion.
Yeah.
Like to see a different religion because she is so die hard with hers. To see another religion in action, whether it be a cult-like religion or something like that, just to see another side of religion.
I agree.
It's a
That sounds cool.
theocracy. The population there is ruled by a theocracy.
Oh yeah. So,
Because you said that your religion is polytheistic. Maybe this is monotheistic. Maybe there's just one god they worship or something like that.
I like the idea of it being a rival religion to Arena's.
Yes.
Agnostic versus Catholicism.
Well,
They're
it could be
silly too.
well, it could be a
Not
thing
agnostic. That's not it. What's the word I'm looking for?
where
Protestant. Are you looking-
Protestant. Thank you.
Yeah.
Protestant.
Yeah.
Protestantism. Thank you.
my thought is that whatever deity they do worship, it might be related to that pantheon,
Mhm.
but it's a different perspective. It's kind of like
Exactly.
a lot of the okay, before I say this, I need everyone to understand I haven't looked at this in years. Okay? But
I'm ready.
so I'm going to get stuff wrong, okay? This is not all right. Anyway, a number of Romans, you know, you look at the Roman god pantheon, you don't usually see a lot about Mithras. But the Romans also worshipped Mithras, and there were connections, there were things that were related between the two, between the the pantheon that Zeus is the head of and Mithraism. There were connections, but there were a lot of folks who were like, "This is our main deity." There was, as I recall, it was popular among warrior types. I think I've got to look it back up again as to the specifics. But anyway, that I'm just using that as an example. But it's things that are like contemporary and aware of each other, and possibly they have connections, but it's not necessary. It might just be the folklore passed through the years, the religious lore passed through the years. Things have overlapped, and bits of stories have gotten incorporated with each other. That type of deal. I like that idea. That it is it's a place you go to cement your suffering, but either on purpose or not. But there's my question: Is it a place people go on pilgrimages, or does it function as something else like religious military? Is it a science base? Which it easily could be. Is it a medical base? Is it a place for transfer of resources? Do people go there to have fun? Probably not. Or is it like a place people go to see a thing? Prison.
They're going to go see something on their religious pilgrimage. This is part of the pilgrimage for that religion.
I like that it's some sort of relic of like a saint,
Yeah.
or it could be like the corpse of a saint.
What if your religion believes in aliens, right? What are this like religion believes? What if it's what they believe is a corpse of an alien?
Yeah, I was going to say it's a xenoskeleton. It's definitely not human.
It's something non-human for sure that they believe is like proof of their belief, like an alien or something.
Okay.
And it's mummified.
Love it.
Not gross at all.
No, of course not. So this is then, I hate to say this is a tourist attraction. Then somewhat. However, again, this is an old station. It has been here a very long time. So this is a thing that perhaps we don't have that many people going there anymore.
And the accommodations are for shite.
Yeah.
You've got monastic little cells with no amenities whatsoever. I mean, if you get a place with a sink, like almost like 8x10 prison cells kind of set up.
Yeah,
There
I
needs
think
to be-
that despite the Order's best efforts, this place is kind of a parody of itself almost. Like
Yeah.
the people who adhere fully believe, but there are people who show up for the skeleton, kind of like the attractions you get, like, if you go far west enough, southwest enough in the United States. It's just like there are people who are like, we believe in the weird house and all the stuff, but there are people like, we sleep here to trade, or we gotta see the weird body, man. We gotta see the weird mummy body.
Oh, yeah. So I'm assuming. So do we think this feels like it's not as big a population? We have small, we have medium.
I think it
Small.
should probably be small because I think like probably the only people that live there are probably people who like live in the temple and keep up the relic.
Yeah,
right.
Like monks or nuns.
Like the true die-hard believers.
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing.
Yeah,
So
the real believers.
one thing I need to ask though, each of these places is supported by some resource or other. So, and even though let's say we have a small, it's a small place, but it's an operating place. It's just not a lot of people there, but so you don't need a lot of resources to support them. But what does? Is it all just the tourism, or is there, and they trade from other stuff? But how do they subsist?
I think it's
Tourism.
tourism. I think people bring offerings, and that's what they live off of. They live off the kindness of tourists.
Well,
And
you
also
have to
that-
pay
the
to
entrance
stay in the
fee.
cell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an entrance fee, and then you have to come and then like bring an offering too. If you don't bring an offering, that's considered rude.
And there's a little tiny, like, it's not, I want to say tourist shop, but where you can get icons or medallions or, I saw the Xenomorph t-shirt, but no, but where you can get like little religious tokens to take back with you.
Yeah, gift
Yeah.
shop.
Sort of like
gift shop,
like a temple, like I know, like I've seen like in K dramas and like Korean temples, like you can get like the talismans and things like that. You know,
Yeah.
You can get pressed pennies.
They
Crank,
sell
crank,
jars
crank.
of the terrible gas giant atmosphere to take back home with you, just in case.
Possible. But yeah, I mean, there are prophecies that perhaps this, there will be life formed at some point when this thing turns into a sun. Or we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen to it. But the comet, we actually, there's a comet. It's a repository of alien knowledge. We kind of, I think, that's almost enough. As far as, things we know about that. But I will ask, technically, whose jurisdiction might it fall under? The thing.
the comet.
Yes.
When you say jurisdiction, what do you mean?
Excellent question. Let me actually break it even further down. There needs to be someone has some sort of claim, although it's not a pressing one. And this claim does not necessarily have to be physical. Comets travel, of course, we know this. But it's probably going in an orbit of some kind, as they do. So someone who is aware, it's on somebody's map. Whose map is it on?
Could it be contested?
Yeah.
Where
I like that.
it's some say that it belongs to whoever, like the star that it orbits, but because it goes into interstellar space, like it goes outside of the Oort cloud of whatever this this solar system is, before it comes back around their star.
So like
someone has jurisdiction over the interstellar space and someone has jurisdiction over the solar system, and they both believe that the comet is theirs.
So how about the merchant trade conglomerate that handles, this routes? They claim it, but also the religion of the space station claims it because it's supposed to be alien, and they say no, we have jurisdiction over it because it's part of our religion, or it may have artifacts of our religion or something like that.
Okay, yeah, we can play with that. That's simple enough. No, that works. That works, and it's just the placement of the planet that they're in orbit around is such where it's like we have greater knowledge of this. That's fine. That works. Okay. Let me see. Yes, I think we're good. I'm going to ask you more questions about these places to create more details. We're not going to do that now, though. I'm going to do that in downtime. We're going to talk about factions, and we're going to talk about old rituals in downtime, just over the Discord. And we'll talk about NPCs to whom folks are connected. And I think this is going to be fun. I think this is going to be cool. We're going to make basically just sort of build up like what these groups are. We're going to probably want there to be one NPC per group, that kind of thing. Power groups on each of these places that we know about, and we'll sort of go from there. I think this is enough to get some stuff together. Was there anything else anyone wanted to fill in any details on before we dive off?
Dive off to the void of space.
Yes. Excellent. This once again, like I said at the beginning, this is pre-recorded, but we will be live weekly on Sundays at about 3:00 Eastern. And diving into this campaign, I am very excited. I can't wait. We're going to go ahead and go around and do our outros. And feel free to tell folks, where they can find you if you like, or anything you might be looking forward to, anything you'd like to let folks know about either plugging anything you like, or anything that you might be keen to see going on in this game. And I'd like to go in reverse order from the way we started, which means we will be starting with Katy.
Happened I always go last. I'm Katy. You can find me everywhere on the internet at KatyFace, and I mean everywhere. When this airs, I do professional DMing, and when this airs, you will be able to. I had to push a game back, so you will have a couple of days to get in on a D&D campaign I am running called Once Upon a Tavern, where you will be playing the same character at third and 15th level, seeing how the present and the past affects each other. So if that's something you're interested in, reach out, let me know. It's on my Twitter for a link if you're interested in signing up. But yeah, that's what I'm up to right now. I'm excited. I can't wait to play.
Yay! And we'll go over to Robin.
Hi, everyone. I've been Robin. You can find me on Twitter at r_Romulus. You can find me on Tumblr at Romulus, and on Blue Sky at rRomulus. I'm not doing anything interesting, but I have been sharing a lot of information about Palestine on my page, so you can look there and find petitions to sign and organizations that need your support. So,
Excellent. Cool. And we will now head over to Mem.
Hello, I'm Mem. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really have anything that I'm actively using right now. I have a Twitter or an X or whatever the heck it's called. But I'm not really using it. It's at Uncertain Mem. I also have nothing to plug. I am just here currently. Very excited to get going. And yep, that's it.
Yay! Excellent. And now we'll head over to Cleric.
I am Cleric, or Cleric of Cord. You can find me over on Blue Sky at Cleric of Cord. I kind of gave up on the X place. Like everybody else, not a whole bunch going on right now. If you want to check out Lawful Good Media over on YouTube, you can see some past sessions of Shadowrun 6e campaign that I was a part of, that's currently on hiatus for another 5 months because one of our players is training for the London Marathon. Yeah, right. So yeah, that's it. I lurk in a bunch of different Discords. You can find me hanging out basically on different servers in Discord. Thanks for sticking around with us, and we'll see you soon. I think you guys are going to like this game.
Yay. Awesome. And finally, Hollow.
All right, yeah, I'm Hollow. I am actually for once not doing anything else. I might be soon in the future. So I guess stay tuned for that. You can find me on Twitter if some billionaire can dead name their kid and I can dead name Twitter. And yeah. You can find me. I can lurk around various Discords. I'm on Other Docs Discord. You can find me there.
Wow. Thank you all so much. I'm really looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be very interesting. I'm going to be delighted. I am delighted to see the level of drama we are already generating before we have even started. And so definitely eager to dig into that. Once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch and YouTube and most social media platforms. Wherever I'm not OtherDoc, I'm Jim Yes That Jim. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. Down below, if you're watching on Twitch, you can access my website, social media links, YouTube channel, and various other things. There are other games coming. I will make announcements, or perhaps I already have made announcements. I don't know. My future self does whatever he wants to. But there are other games coming. There is a campaign, and there are one-shots. And I will announce more fully the details once all the ducks are in a row. And so look forward to that. Or look back on it fondly if it's happened already. When you see this, who knows? Time is weird. But in the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Farewell.